Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
Now, I ain't saying she a gold digger. I'm saying she's a narcissistic sociopath. Welcome back to this, whatever this is. I still don't know what it is. My name's Jaden, and this is our topic of discussion here. It's too glowy. There's this documentary, documentary slash, like, animated slideshow slash dramatized slideshow. I don't know what to call this. Point is, Patrick CC, or Patrick closed captioning, or Patrick, there's another official slang word for CC. I completely forgot it. Patrick Cock. He makes these documentaries, and boy, does he make good money. 1.6 million subscribers, nearly 400 videos, and he releases a video every, like, week. Dude, good job, man. And we're gonna watch
Jada Pinkett Smith or
a documentary about Will and Jada Pinkett Smith. She looks like, you see the movie I Am Legend? She looks kind of like the,
I got into an entanglement with August.
Maybe that was the inspiration for that. See, we haven't even started and it's already become a roast battle, right? It's already over for you, Smiths. No, that's fine. These are rich and famous people. You really shouldn't shed much sympathy for them, and we shall not. Instead, we're just gonna roast and have a good wee bit of a goof. I guess context, right? We'll just go until it breaks. I'm learning more on how the iPhone works. Don't buy Apple products. They're gouged, and the brand is what increases the value of the... That's not what we're talking about. I am very familiar with Will Smith. Seen, like, all of his movies. Goddamn. And he's good. A good actor. Person-wise, he's like a teenager on the inside, and he doesn't know how to understand his emotions properly, and he doesn't know how to react to them accordingly. I mean, hell, just sort of, I guess, an industry, like, well-known industry, just fact or something, or just a rumor or whatever the word is for that his wife is kind of narcissistic. Sociopathic might be a push, right? Because, I mean, anyone could seem like a sociopath while in the limelight, right? Or any narcissist who has all this money and has all this reaffirmation that would play into their narcissism would probably also come off as a sociopath. But my opinion may change after this, but it seems as if this person isn't that. They're just the other thing, which is not as bad. Depending on who you're, well, maybe not for this guy, not for the Smith, the slapper. To keep my wife's name out your mouth. The I am the legend. The I am the robot. He's just a guy who's pursuing happiness, and he's trying to recover from all those concussions, and now he just sees himself as a man in black. He's got a lot of movies. Like, all of them have made over $100 million. So you've probably heard of this guy. He was in West Philadelphia, born and raised. He spent most of his days on the playground, shooting basketball outside the school. And then a bunch of guys, they just came up. They started a bunch of trouble in his neighborhood, and then he got a concussion. I don't know what I have problems. Is this stand-up? Is this comedy? Alrighty. I guess we can just jump right into it, right? I mean, I imagine the documentary's going to give us all the context we need, so I probably don't need to... I don't need to gotta do that.
Will and Jada Pinkett Smith were long romanticized in Hollywood as the perfect couple. They proved that it's possible for two people to be incredibly successful A-list celebrities and raise a stable family who all love each other. We now know that was all a lie.
Was that a thing? I mean, I do this all the time. Pause it immediately. It's only been 14 seconds. Is that a thing? I mean, it being framed that way kind of makes it seem as if sort of like that's just an accepted thing, right? Like families with all sorts of wealth and influence are intrinsically dysfunctional. If that's the standard we're establishing, which that's not specific to wealthy families. And why would people think that? I mean, what's the difference between this family and any other family? The only difference is that people know this family and they make lots of money. That's it. Every other family, I mean, like, it's pick your poison. You speak to anyone, they have all sorts of familial related nonsense that they got to deal with, right? But of course, we're going to give these guys our attention and act as if, these guys are worthy of said attention just because of their stature in the social hierarchy. Yeah, it's just content. I can't just. There's nothing wrong with your documentary, Patrick. I like your documentaries. They are interesting, and it is inspiring to see how much money you make off of this. It's not quite a faceless channel. It's sort of just a. I don't even know what you call this, because he does show his face here and there. But all right, so it was a lie. Not sure who told us that it was the perfect that any family could be the perfect. Like, what does that mean? People kind of just build these imaginary ideas towards how the world works, and then when something sort of expectedly subverts it, there's like, whoa. I mean, sure. Like, there's the statement I made, and it's not reaffirmed right here, even though all you got to do is just glance anywhere else, and you'll see that it's, disqualified, that statement, right? But, and yes, I can say I did it. Like, that's how let's just go along with this, right? The Smiths kind of try to present themselves as such, from my understanding. The perfect family or whatever. But they'll probably even say it verbatim. But, okay, let's just say that's where that came from, because it's clearly some tabloid crap, like some media stuff that are framing it this way, if that's how people have received it. Because that's just any family, whether or not they're rich or famous.
Who look like the perfect family, while it was an utter mess on the inside. And over the past few years, all of their deepest secrets have been revealed to the entire world. Once you hear the full story, your opinions of Will and Jada might change.
Might change any more than, I mean, there's one thing I can think of in particular that changed my opinion. Almost single. I mean, granted, I didn't really care beforehand. I didn't really care too much after. It was sort of just like I don't care, and then I dislike after he assaulted someone because he had his little delicate feelings hurt. 6'2", $100 million back-to-back net worth, known all around the world, attractive, in shape, and you can't handle a joke about your dumb wife. About your, because yes, the stuff I've heard, yes, that does make this person dumb, and both kind of dumb and shitty, more shitty than dumb. We're gonna see what made him so wild west. We're gonna see where this shark tale brings us. We're gonna see. I don't know. I'll stop.
Because we are going to dive deep and look at every detail that built up to one of the most catastrophic, confusing, and preventable marriages of all time.
I understand why you're saying it like that, Patrick, but come on, it's really not that big of a deal. It's just random people who have lots of money. But I know the severity, right? You gotta use these words to emphasize to make it seem more dramatic. But screw these people,
Starting with the fact that Jada didn't want to be with Will in the first place. In 1994, Will Smith was married to his now ex-wife, Cherie Zampino. They also had a 2-year-old son named Trey, but Will was spending a lot of time with actress Jada Pinkett despite having a wife and baby at home. Jada auditioned for a role in season 5 of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which was arguably the most influential and popular 90s sitcom in history. The New York Times said The Fresh Prince had put rap into the mainstream. Every week, nearly 20 million viewers tuned in to see Smith and the Banks family, with a quarter of the national television audience watching at its peak.
Okay. Because I guess he moved on from that, because that is an interesting little thing. You're married with a kid, and you're hanging out non-platonically with another person you're very attracted to. I mean, not to say that that's impossible, that you can't make that work. I mean, in my personal experience, that setup didn't work, but not for that reason. It seems plausible if, the people are emotionally intelligent enough and have enough respect, at least for the thing that they've obligated themselves to, right? My setup is terrible. My God. It took me like 15 minutes to figure out. I don't even remember where I was. I got the apparel. We're back, although the pants are different. Oshasimasu. Fried rice in it. Kyo. I figured back, and I got it, and I did the thing. So now, I was going through all the footage before, and it was like 20 minutes worth of material. and I'm about 1:30 into this video. Organization problems, scrubbing problems, location problems. Look at this. It's the domain where all that is righteous and gnarly takes place. Cure. I had no idea what I was talking about before. I was too busy focused on figuring out where I was that I don't know what I was talking about. Something about love and true love not being real, or true love. Actually, yeah. Love at first sight. That's what I was referring to. That's not real. True love. Like, what even is that? Is love true if you feel intense emotions? I mean, isn't that what love is? It's not about depth or connection or substance. It's sort of just you find someone who makes you feel super emotional. Is that true love? Is there a true heroin? Is there true crack? What's fake crack? Is it fentanyl? I guess, yeah, in that context, because love is just a drug. It's an ingrained opiate that no one knows how to use. I can't sit here and be like, oh, you guys, peasants, idiots, don't know what they're doing. I don't know what I'm doing with this, right? But I think I have a better idea. Doesn't matter who you're talking to about this, they failed when it comes to this type of thing. And it's funny to watch it on a public forum. You gotta see more of my torso, I feel like. I feel like if I leave the torso out, then it's like, what are we even doing here? In West Philadelphia, born and raised. On the playground is where I divorced my first wife. Because I thought Jada was so much hotter. She was number 10. The other one was a 9. I was gonna continue with that, but I should refine my Fresh Prince freestyling abilities so I could smack some people at a awards ceremony. That's what that amounted to. I feel like that was. He pictured that in his head, and he's like, you know, my name's Will Smith, and I want to do that. I want a Fresh Prince and then pimp slap. What am I?
Jada auditioned to be Will's girlfriend, Lisa, and came close to booking the role but didn't because producers thought Jada looked too short when sharing the screen with Will. The role ultimately went to Nia Long, who was just 2 inches taller than Jada. Will tried to approach Jada to console her. She shrugged him off, but he says it was love at first sight. The two say Will did not have an affair, but Will was head over heels for another woman that wasn't his wife. We sat down at the Baked Potato and talked. There was a really unique, beautiful power. We had that moment.
At the Baked Potato. That's what I meant by my setup. So I should probably have like a research station right here, right? If we learned anything from Brian, if you're gonna you should both have a laptop and you should use it. I should probably set up. Things move around. There's people squat here. I'm kidding, but it's as if that's the case, right? The chair's not there anymore. It's actually, the chair's behind the door this time. See, you got fooled. Here you are, watching this video thinking that there was a chair over in there, but actually it moved. So, you got flummoxed. You got poltergeisted. You got poltergotten. I'm actually legitimately debating, should I just run and go get my laptop? Instead, we'll replace it with a brown chair. Replace the white. We're gonna replace the Anglo-Saxon chair with a melanin rich chair. Where should we put it? Looks like a funny visual. Every time I have to research, right? I'll do it over here. That's dumb. And that's low on battery as well. Is this what is this what organized looks like? That's organized. What's the Baked Potato? It's a jazz club in Studio City, California. Cool. Now we know that. So, they were at the Baked Potato, and there was just a really unique, beautiful power. We just had that moment, we connected, but I was married. Oh no! It's trouble in the wild, wild west. Hold on, like, this is a crazy I just realized there's no point in this chair being here. I'm gonna keep it there. You're a rich person and you're having trouble choosing which partner. You're in a position of immense optionality and you're having trouble choosing? Oh man. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. That's rough, dude. Damn. Fuck. I don't know, man. Given the struggles you've been through, slapping's on the table. On the red table. How can it not be on the red table? Yes, your childhood sucked, right? But so did a lot of other people, and they never found immense, unbelievable amounts of success. So again, another person who doesn't deserve sympathy. Hey! Doggo! I'm rotate the chairs. All right. They met at a thingy, and I was just, you know, super empathetic towards Will Smith's plight of having an immense degree of optionality at an early stage in his life where he met critical, unbelievable amounts of success. So you should feel bad for him instead of all the other people who've gone through very similar stuff in the past and didn't have all this stuff afterwards to be able to indulge and then pull themselves out. God, even less of an excuse, damn.
He says it was love at first sight. The two say Will did not have an affair, but Will was head over heels for another woman that wasn't his wife. We sat down at the baked potato and talked. There was a really unique, beautiful power. We had that moment and we connected, but I was married.
Sorry, what does that mean, connected? You just felt intense emotions because someone made you... Can you explain that? No. All the people I've asked who, when I try to, it's like they can't explain. They just feel things. But they want those feelings to be like, to be intrinsically meaningful and profound, when in all reality it's just mindless. It's just chemicals shooting off in your brain. You could technically connect with anyone if you really, really want to. You know, there's always going to be conflict classes and everything, but clearly, like, and there's always going to be differences, always been, but if the reasons as to why people can get together are random and arbitrary, which are, and they're motivated, so they are random and arbitrary, which those mean is redundant, same thing, then the reasons why people wouldn't like each other are the exact same thing. If your emotions are what's causing you to like someone, your emotions are causing you to dislike someone. For whatever reason, both ways. Yet you want to act as if there's something profound, there's like a depth, or there's something, like, that could technically be found anywhere. It's just a question of whether or not you want to manifest it and believe in it. It's like a religion. It's faith. I love you, God! Believe that somebody loves you for who you are, even though you can't. Nobody does. I'm sorry. People are things to you. We're whats. You are what you are to another person, not who. People will fill in the who themselves up here based on the ways that you make them feel. Nobody really knows what's going on up here. Nor is it the thing that they use to determine whether or not they like you, even if they could see it, right? How many serial killers ran like normal, everyday lives, right? And then suddenly, oh crap, he killed like 70 people and took pictures of their corpses and would tie himself up and take pictures of himself in the victim's positions. BTK killer. Meanwhile, he was a Christian family man. So maybe the things that you think, or the things that you feel as a result of what you receive from, you know, this emotion that you get from when you interact or when that you attach to someone. Maybe you should doubt those, you know, before you just go fucking all in. Remember, like, I'd argue that love's more dangerous than heroin. It's an ingrained opiate in your brain. You have to know how to use it, but most people don't know how to use drugs. They're just, people are fools. If you're gonna dip your toes, like, you gotta, like, adjust. You gotta know what it's like. You gotta understand it. You have to know what you want. To go in with a specific intention. And you have to have integrity for it to work. Now, granted, you having integrity, that really doesn't mean anything because it takes two parties, you know, one person. Like, relationship will succeed if you have integrity, right? And if everything lines up in a proper way, and if, like, you get that 1% chance that everything is, you know, entirely reciprocal. But just because that's there doesn't mean it's going to work. Remember, people are random, mindless, disgusting monkeys, and we're just gonna flail and do whatever the hell. Just don't go into that, right? You're dooming yourself, you're damning yourself to suffering, and more suffering than what could have been had you just sat down and, like, thought. Instead, just don't say stuff to yourself like, this is the one, this is the love of my life, this is my true love. That means whatever the hell you want it to mean. So, given that this means this way to you, and that there's no meaning in the world, and that you're the one that has to give it, when that threatens the very thing that you believe, the very thing that you picture manifested in your brain, the emotions and such, you will be reminded that what you feel does not matter. And you need to sort of acknowledge that and accept and embrace and anticipate and react in accordance to that. Otherwise, you just get more, you'll slap someone at an award show. What would that look like, the everyday equivalent? Slap your kid's teacher while he's up on stage, giving a speech or something. Keep my child's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to.
Funny enough, this wasn't the first time Will fell in love with someone that wasn't his wife. He admits in his memoir that he fell in love with his co-star, Stockard Channing, while filming 1993's 6 Degrees of Separation.
Falling in love. Nobody knows what that means. It's these words that people use to try to, like, legitimize what we feel. Oh my goodness. He fell in love. It's true. It's destiny.
What's my destiny, Mom?
It's an air purifier. Cool. I didn't even know this was here. Oh no, it's the, sorry, what was I saying? The words, they try to imply profoundness. Falling in love, you know, true love, love at first sight, my neck, ow. The more you fantasize, you create fantasies surrounding reality, the more you're just speeding through on your NASCAR until the brick wall hits you, until you slam into one, right? Because you just weren't aware that it existed, because you were too busy speeding, too busy feeling. I skipped again.
Will's unfaithful tendencies are not that surprising considering he was a 6'2", 25-year-old movie star, television star, and rap star, but it was an early sign that maybe marriage wasn't for him. Will claims he never would have divorced his wife Cherie if she didn't initiate it first. We were at the Palm and I remember I had to get up from dinner when I had a realization that I wasn't with the person I was supposed to be with. Will rushed to the bathroom in the Palm and broke down in tears. His marriage eventually reached a breaking point and Cherie filed for divorce on Valentine's Day in 1995.
Wait, what was the thing? What was the thing? Will Smith did not want to divorce his ex-wife Cherie Zampino before she hurt his feelings with one brutal question. Okay, so what was the question? What was the one question Cherie Zampino asked Will Smith? That was the question. So you were going to make somebody stay with you who doesn't love you? So Will Smith was just, he had the Ghiblies for them rich and famous actresses. Was that her saying that to Will Smith in retaliation to him, like his waning feelings towards her? I'm confused. I mean, they don't do it in the they don't go over it in the video. That's funny, though. I don't know who's where and when. Presumably, I'm just presuming based on the way you guys are saying it that Cherie said it to him, but there must have been something that ignited. Especially someone as emotionally inept as well, because that freaking previous headline, right? Oh, she'd said something that made, come on. Like, I bet you acted in ways that reaffirmed your waning emotions towards Cherie. That they probably picked up on, or, like, there's not enough context for me to, but, like, of course, that would make sense, right? It's funny. So you compare Will Smith to his previous rationalizations, oh, it wasn't me, to now he's not changed. He hasn't improved as a person. It's really funny. But it's weird. He almost tries to, in accordance to the like, I don't know, like, from what I gather, going to see therapists and going to do all sorts of various things. And point is, he had some rationalization for the motivation as to why they broke up. And he also had a rationalization as to why he assaulted someone, both of which seem to, there's a word I had in the tip of my dick, but I didn't, alleviate the fault, to absolve it, right? To seemingly absolve it, right? Because he couldn't even apologize for being a loser. And yes, you are a loser if that's what you think is okay. It doesn't matter how much money you have, it doesn't matter how many people see you, how many know you, the things that you could do, the life that you live. You're a loser if you're a lower type of person in terms of, now remember, everything's worthless, right? So you can't really necessarily in an objective lens, but through a societal lens, through what should be right, you're a lower person if that's what you think is okay. And then afterwards, when you can't even, this doggo. And he would say things that would seemingly absolve himself of the fault. Do you have something to say?
Oh, fuck.
You gotta cool it. I get you're bored, I understand. But maybe you can bark in like 45 minutes. Just give it like I can start a timer, I can give you a watch or something. Then you can start barking. But I gotta get through this video. I have like, so much, hey, you hear me, be quiet. Or you can just sit around here, that's fine. We're 2 minutes in.
Cherie filed for a divorce, rightfully. She called herself my placeholder wife. She said that she just had to be there to hold the position of wife in Will Smith's perfect life. The most important takeaway from this is Will's willingness to remain in a marriage that he was not emotionally invested in for the sake of maintaining his image to the world.
Was that the reason? I mean, there's usually a bunch of, I don't know, I don't know if he had a kid at the time with this. Regardless of that, I mean, that's one reason, potential reason. He had a kid, so keep it together. He wants to maintain his image. I think, because clearly image is not I mean, granted, that's one other thing. He wants to maybe go for something when it comes to the way he thinks he's perceived, but... Hey! Get back here, boy! Oh my god. She's like... I think I hear movement, so I can make sounds at it. He could think he's doing some stuff in the public eye to maintain his, and maybe that's what his intention is. But I'm just pulling stuff out of my butt here. What if he did it just because he felt like he's supposed to, right? I mean, he got married because he felt like he was supposed to. That's a cultural thing that's enforced or reinforced through societal standards. But like, this is what you have to do. So maybe he's like, oh, that would be incorrect of me to break off marriage because marriage is a sanctity definition. The state or quality of being holy,
Here's the definition of sanctity: the state or quality of being holy,
Is there a way for
sacred,
me
or
to know?
saintly.
Can I turn that off? Not that you recognize my voice. You hear me. I don't want to hear you. It's holy. It's like, you know, it's supposed to be profound and intrinsically meaningful, but it's worthless. It doesn't mean anything. And it causes problems. Pro advice: never get married. Like, honestly, you need some societal status. You need some tangible product to be a display, a representation of your affections. Sorry, your profound connection. It's just ways that people try to make it seem as if like things matter and the things they do matter and their lives matter and things they feel matter. But nope, it's all worthless. Remember, other humans built a world that is preying upon that. So if you give into that system, prepare to deal with the ramifications of that system, especially marriage.
Hey, if you recently got married, watch this.
Pro tip: don't get married. Just have a partner. Have partners. Don't have a partner. Do whatever you want. Just don't be a dumbass. Like the Smith. Like the Grift. Not this guy. This guy's fine. He's the documentary guy.
Something that would not change with Jada. Jada obviously was interested in Will, but her own morality tried to convince him to fight for his family and make things work.
I don't know. Again, these are all headlines. This is what the information that's being relayed through the very people that we're trying to gain this information about to other people who both his job to sensationalize and also to make them look a certain way. So I wouldn't use headlines as it totally could be real, maybe, but you won't know that just based on them telling you that. All the stuff they say at the Red Table Talk, it could all be legitimate. But even if it's legitimate to the person, right, who's telling it and it happened to those things, or the way that they describe it, the way that they get the information out, all of these things, even if they're going in with a intent, like pure intention, they could still get it wrong with like the account of all this stuff that has happened and everything. Granted, it's better than nothing for us to build a narrative over all the stuff that's happening, over a celebrity, failed monogamy. This is monogamy. This is the thing that everyone says works and is what you should be doing. But as you can see, polyamorous tendencies, because that's kind of nature. Especially, and I don't know if I went over this already, but this is a direct example of the failings of that type of archetypal procedure, you know, monogamy. Because these people are in specific tiers of society that grant them immense optionality with no effort, right? That would exacerbate the turmoil, or any potential turmoil. Because there's even more ways for it to like not work out because of the, you know, human emotion. I mean, if love's just a blind emotion, then temptation's a blind emotion as well. You guys would all act as if people act in ways that make it seem as if they rank them like procedurally, like structurally in a fair hierarchical fashion. No, mindless crap that goes all around. I noticed I kept like in the previous videos like on my nose. I don't know what that is. I also noticed I say right a bunch, right? Right? You know, I'll say you know a bunch, like, right? You know, like, right? You know, no, red light. I skipped again.
However, Will proceeded with the divorce and contacted Jada the moment he signed the divorce papers, saying, "I literally walked right out from signing the divorce papers and I called Jada."
Also, if you never get married, you never have to get divorced and go through all that. It's easier to just step away because everything's finite. All that stuff comes to an end. Whether you break up, whether someone leaves, whether someone loses interest, whether someone dies, everyone's replaceable. God, life is fucking brutal, dude.
I said, "Hey Jada, what's up? It's Will." She said, "Hey, how you doing?" I said, "Good. Are you seeing anybody?" She said, no. And I said, "Cool, you're seeing me now."
I'm just a Chad. You want to get with some Hollywood actor? I don't feel bad for these people. Is that dialogue? That is probably how people speak to each other. And this is the dialogue coming from people that we idolize in a societal context.
Jada went along with it because her life was about to fall apart. Jada's mother, Adrienne, became pregnant in high school and gave birth to Jada at a very young age. Growing up in Baltimore, Maryland, Jada witnessed her mother endure domestic abuse from her father. One night it got so bad that Adrienne temporarily fled from their home. Her parents' marriage was short-lived and they divorced after several months. As a teenager struggling to raise a child, Adrienne dealt with a heroin addiction for most of Jada's childhood. I could tell when my mother was high. She couldn't make it on time to pick me up from school, or she's nodding off, falling asleep in the middle of something. Jada's environment and upbringing led to her encountering drugs, becoming a dealer at just 14 years old. She was living a double life, going to Baltimore School for the Arts during the day and dealing at night.
What are you buying?
The American dream. This country is the greatest. And there is no opiate crisis. That's actually just the weakness of these stupid ass inferiors who just feel the need to get high, right? If you're an intelligent, strong American, you wouldn't be simply a product of your environment. That's accountability, okay? But not for rich people. They deserve everything because they earned it. They're just superior. Like, why else would they be rich if they weren't superior to all of us? Like what? Like what?
Her mother eventually put her foot down and convinced Jada to clean up her act. Jada responded by graduating high school before enrolling at the North Carolina School of the Arts. She dropped out of college after 1 year to move to Los Angeles and pursue an acting career. Jada's talent and good looks landed minor roles in TV shows like 21 Jump Street and Doogie Howser, MD, before producer Debbie Allen gave her a consistent role on A Different World, which blew her up. From there, she landed a reoccurring role on The Cosby Show, but her role as Ronnie, the love interest in Menace to Society, made her culturally beloved since hip-hop fans loved that movie. Jada successfully made it out of the struggle, but she was still not happy.
My career is popping. I got money. I'm hot. My career is popping. I got money. I'm hot.
People are pursuing you.
I got every dude everywhere wanting, you know what I mean? Like, I can have anybody I want. Why am I not happy?
I'm hot. I'm popping. I'm locking. I'm popping. I'm hot. I succeeded, but I'm not happy. Oh no. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that you're not happy when you have all those things. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
This is when Will came along, and she latched onto him hoping that he would make her happy again. At that time, Will hadn't finalized his divorce with Cherie, meaning he and Jada kept their relationship under wraps. We were both pretty famous and we felt like it just wouldn't have been a great look. They indulged in an unpredictable, secretive rendezvous that sounds like it was taken straight out of a movie.
Yeah, what are you doing all that poly stuff? What is the monogamy? That's the way how you be happy. That's how you're happy. Cause that's human nature. Therefore, this thing's better than this other thing. And you'll get it wrong if you go do this other thing, but not this other thing. Instead of the reality being that you're probably gonna get it wrong whichever path you choose. But no, you gotta have a wife. You gotta do it this way. That's how you do it. Even though humans are disgusting animals that just follow whatever impulsive emotion they feel at a certain given place and time. Oh my god. Do you sniff, Mr. Smith? Oh no. Now there's garbage on the visit. Dogs should not eat cookies.
The couple traveled to exotic secret getaways, from Cabo to private Caribbean islands, Aspen, and secluded estates in Maui. Capitalizing on his success on The Fresh Prince,
Wow. Vacation after vacation all around the world and all sorts of And they have a thing made about them. I got a video, a documentary, and that's just like one of the billions of things. Oh my god. Like that actually really bothers me. Like, screw these people. Screw them. They have so much, and they just suck. You're just emotionally inept. Imagine if you were honest with yourself. Imagine if you were honest with the people around you. Imagine if you were honest with the world. I mean, granted, there's comeuppance for all of that. But clearly there's comeuppance for everything else. So bite the bullet. Just be real. And think. You were in a failing marriage that was ignited mainly by you because you felt mindless, primitive emotions towards another rando that you met, the same way you felt it towards the first person you got in a marriage with. And you haphazardly maintain the standards applied to you while acting like a goddamn degenerate, which is fine. That's not the problem. Of course, humans are stupid, so they think the degeneracy is the problem. But humans are dumb and their priorities are mindless and backwards. The degeneracy is not the problem. It's you trying to button it up and label it as something that's non-degeneracy. But that's just an ingrained part of humans, and we want to like act as if like if we follow these measures and procedures, then that we're somehow not like animals anymore. We're somehow doing what's right, what we have to do. You don't know what the hell you have to do. Nobody does. Just regurgitating other people's values, really? Someone else told you to get married. Someone else told you to find that important. And look what it did. You're doing it. You're doing the thing you believe is right. So then why is this happening if it's right? God, idiots. Idiot. He is an idiot.
They took advantage of private air travel and regularly used aliases to check into hotels.
Losers.
We fit together so naturally, and our energies combined exponentially in a way that felt like old friends more than new lovers.
Combined exponentially. Did you feel that? Our energies just combined exponentially. Whoa. That was a great combination right there.
We had an unspoken language, and everything we focused on flourished. This romantic, adventurous fling would come to a screeching halt whenever the marriage conversation popped up. Jada didn't believe in a conventional marriage and despised a traditional ceremony. She also had questions about the viability of monogamy as a framework for a successful long-term relationship.
Yet you get into a monogamous... I've known few people who've in certain ways have acted poly, yet would go into monogamous setups, and they would fail. I mean, granted, even people who are traditionally monogamous, they also fail. Everyone fails. All of them. Clearly you didn't believe, it's faith, right? You didn't believe in this thing. And look what happened. That lack of belief manifested through your actions. Yet, so you got Jada, right, who doesn't believe in it, and her true feelings manifested through her actions. Then you have Will Smith, who did believe in it, yet that didn't manifest through his actions. One person didn't believe in it, got it wrong. One person did believe in it, got it wrong. Man.
Despite the obvious warning sign of trying to settle down with a woman who does not want to,
he was too busy feeling shit. That's it. True love! It's real and legitimate. It's just profound. Humans, they just have a deep connection. Humans, we're on an ethereal plane altogether. We just connect. And some people you just do or don't connect with just cause. Oh my God. It's hard to take anyone's relationship seriously. It's like, I just look at it like, it's only a matter of time. Or what do you get wrong like everyone else does? Or why are you doing the same crap everyone else does and doing... I mean, granted, if you're already going to get it wrong, then just go for something, right? It's just don't expect for it to work out. Even if you feel like you're doing everything that you should be doing, and you have these certain expectations you have defined, but you're also meeting those things. That doesn't mean anything. Things are going to happen. You're going to do stuff, things are going to happen to you, and then everything's finite. So, don't be so confident, Miguel. I got faith in you and I. 'Cause his love is a sure thing. I hear they replay that on the... I don't even listen to the radio, and it comes to me.
Will did not let that stop him. From an early point in their relationship, their suitability was questionable at best, but now Jada was pregnant, and Will's determination to get married overpowered Jada's personal beliefs.
Okay. That's when you go into scumbag territory. When you drag some other humans into this and make it their fucking problem. That makes you a piece of shit. You can fail, you can flail, be an idiot with your stupid romance, right? Your true love crap. Because that's totally legitimate and a real thing. But the second you involve somebody else without their goddamn consent, fuck you. Honestly. Your kids don't deserve this. Who cares about who they turned out? Trey, Jaden, Willow... they didn't choose that, so it doesn't matter, disregarding who they are as people. This is now their problem as well, on top of your guys' problem, because you guys are stupid. That makes it gross. You involve kids, you involve like people who don't even exist, and then you create them, you bring them into existence without their consent, and then they just got to deal with the stuff that, now granted, less sympathy for like, you know, their children, because their children are, you're fine. You have money. Sure, you have all this emotional crap you have to deal with that, but like everyone has these emotional things you got to deal with. Money makes it more accessible in certain ways, and it makes it more difficult. But then again, who cares? Because of all this other stuff, you have the accessibility. This is just a matter of managing this other stuff. When you don't have the resource and all those things, all these other things, they suddenly become way more pervasive, especially if an unwelcome influence or physical effect spreading widely throughout an area or a group or of people. I forgot my point. I was too busy for. It's more pervasive. What's more pervasive? Oh, the emotional stuff is more pervasive. Your everyday tangible turmoil is more pervasive if you don't have the resources to accessibly combat that. It's that Wolf of Wall Street.
I have been a rich man and I have been a poor man, and I choose rich every fucking time. Because at least as a rich man, when I have to face my problems, I show up in the back of a limo wearing a $2,000 suit and a $40,000 gold fucking watch.
There's a bunch of quotes. That's a really good movie. Movie recommendation of the day. Wolf of Wall Street. You've probably already seen it. But there's a few things he says, right? I'd rather show up to my problems in the back of a limo, or, you know, with a $10,000 gold watch, yada yada. All that said, she's saying that it's easier to deal with life's problems when you have money and resources. And you know what? Yes, that is 100% true. And if you deny that, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Really? So, not having the very thing that humans have defined that you needed in life in order to be able to just exist, right? The thing that requires so much, right? Having to spend all of your life accumulating stuff just to justify it to the people around you in a world where that is designed, in a world where that's intentional. You're supposed to either have money or give your time away, unless somebody else affords money for you or resources so that you don't have to do that. That is an intrinsic aspect to modern day civilization, and you can't just not be a part of that, right? Wait, you're gonna nomad? You're gonna go and live in the forest or something? Okay, go ahead. Gain the education to be able to do that, the knowledge, without resources, right? Acquire the resources that you need to be able to survive that, right? Like bringing modern amenities out there, unless you're some rustic survivalist guy. Like, come on, it's just like impractical not living a part of society. Yet society, an intrinsic aspect to society's operation is the resources. Most of the time, I'd say like a majority of the time actually, a lot of people's problems stem from that. Money, resources. If you have no money, you're suddenly having to scrounge all the time to make ends meet. If you have money, you have time. That almost like affords you time. And then with that comes a lot of philosophical existential problems. But like, come on. Would you really, I'm can ask people the question, would you rather deal with this or that? But come on, you never really, don't go with the things that people say. They don't know. This is different from, you know, their actions. But like, you can't just sit there and pretend that that's not what's a requirement of people, given it's very much the thing that makes people do things. It's the thing. I mean, it's the very reason why we're here, why we're talking about these people. It's because of their immense influence and prosperity within the social, you know, social zeitgeist, and their immense monetary prosperity. It's like, you have to be very short-sighted to not think money is important. It's not because money isn't like objectively important. It's important because humans force it to be important. We're humans. We interact in a world that we built, and the world that we built dictates money is the only thing that matters. So.
I never wanted to get married, Jada revealed, but my mother was like, you have to get married. She's so old school, and Will wanted a family. So I said, alright, maybe it's something I should do.
That's funny. Screw you. Yeah, I say this like in every video. People are just a product of the ideas they're surrounded by. I don't want this. You should do this. You should do this. Okay, maybe I should do this. And then, waterfall of diarrhea. Oh my God! And we get to witness it firsthand. Witness account. It's just, Screw you, man. Screw you more so for succumbing to the opinions of other people that affects other people that you created. Screw you even more for that. Screw you the most for that, actually. Everything else, get everything else wrong and suffer as much as you want, but other people suffering, screw you.
I never wanted to get married, Jada revealed, but my mother was like, you have to get married. She's so old school, and Will wanted a family. So I said, alright, maybe it's something I should do. Even Jada's grandmother called Will and cried her freaking eyes out. So then I had to have a wedding, and that was infuriating.
I mean, you know a rich and famous, buy her, like, send her, like, some Kleenexes or something. Cry your eye, keep crying, keep trying to reinforce all these backwards ideas onto me just because that's what other people did to you. You need to cut that out unless you want to deal with the same crap or similar stuff that you're inheriting other people's problems. Because you weren't strong enough to say no. You didn't have the willpower. You didn't have the will. You didn't have the Smith power. Willpower's pretty. You didn't have the Willow power. You didn't. There's so much I could do with that. But I'll holster my firearm.
According to Will, Jada held her ground as long as she could, but the wedding pressure, likely from family and friends, became too much. She was in her second trimester, she was tired and uncomfortable, and didn't want to argue, so she surrendered. And the couple married on New Year's Day in 1997 in a private ceremony in Baltimore, Maryland. However, everyone at the ceremony seemed ecstatic, besides the bride.
And I was so upset that I had to have a wedding. I was so pissed.
I
went crying down the freaking aisle.
Getting married.
Married. Cried the whole way.
And I was
down
like,
the aisle.
I was like,
And Will was like, hey.
I was like, she'll be all right, don't worry.
That's fair, Willow. The one that's the most normal, it seems. For this to be uncomfortable. I mean, granted, why are you here? Just say no. There's more of that imposing. That I can talk about it all these years later on a public forum. Again, you just weren't strong enough to say no. If your family and all the people who are supposed to be important to you are trying to constantly impose stuff onto you that you don't want to find important, then maybe you shouldn't find these people to be important because they don't find you and they don't find your well-being to be important. Again, like I said, you're a thing to everyone. You serve a purpose. And when it comes to a lot of people that you know, the people you're surrounded by, they're gonna try to just impose that purpose onto you because it makes them feel a certain way. And when you give in to that, your life is going to suffer. That is inevitable. Except nobody knows what the hell you're doing. You need to figure it out and you need to just go for this thing that you picture in your head. You need to fight for the fucking death for it, dude. You can't accept anything else from anyone else. You need to figure it out. If you go along with the stuff that other people impose, you're going to suffer more so than you would have had you just tried to pursue the thing that you wanted. If Jada legitimately was intelligent, emotionally intelligent enough at that time and was able to react accordingly to it, they would have, clearly, they would have made different decisions. But they made the decisions other people thrusted upon them. So here we are. One award show ceremony assault later. It looks like, why do I want to make fun of the shape of his head? The creases and the... kind of looks like a... I just saw it. It's like the face of a narwhal or a whale. That little crease in the back of his head. Yeah. Looks like... God damn it.
Jada referred to the ceremony as Grammy's wedding because Jada's grandmother was more excited than her.
Then tell your Grammy to go f*** herself. Fuck you. I don't care about what you want from me. Do what you want to do with yourself. Fucking idiot. Oh, but my family, it's important. It's intrinsically... I have to do these things because this is what I just have to do it because I believe that. That's what it's about. Despite the suffering that's caused by it. Let's just think, oh, but now I'm here. Now let me just cry and complain about the decisions I inherited from other people that I didn't react accordingly to. In a position where I had immense success and wealth and... Dude, it would be so much easier to cut your family off once you have all those. Like, you just find new people to find important. Like, that's your only option when these very people are trying to do this to you. These types of things, right? If you set a boundary and they're just like, nah, our entire relationship will be threatened because I want to impose this thing onto you that also imposes onto your boundaries. Nah, man, goodbye. I'd rather just interact with better people right? That's how you should react. And if you're not strong enough to do that, suffer. Like, do the things that other people tell you to do, and then just deal with that, and then cry about it, like 20 years later in the future when you're filled with regrets and sadness and stagnation, right? That's fine, right? It's either that or that, your choice. On you.
While the event itself was joyful and heartwarming, this would be the first of many compromises Jada would make over the years that painfully negated her own values.
Alright, fine, I can't just leave to give you more motivation than that. The process of defining the thing that you want and this thing that you picture in your head, you're going to go through immense amount of suffering, but in order to manifest that as your reality. But that will pale in comparison. That will pale in comparison. I'm not going to stay in this thought. That will pale in comparison to the amount of pain that the amount of impending pain that you're going to feel by manifesting the wants of other people. You will suffer either way, but at least at the end of your like autonomous decision path, you'll be happy with the thing. You'll be happier than what would have been. Because you're like, okay, I made my own decisions that I felt were for the sake of my own benefit and the stuff that I find important. Instead of living at the tail end of a life of other people's volition. Like, that's really sad, dude. That's tragedy. It's even more, and tragedy, right? That's a great example of the use of this word because it's totally preventable. Okay. No, it doesn't feel. Yeah. Tragedy doesn't pertain to whether or not it was preventable. But that would make it even more tragic, knowing that it is preventable. I always thought that was an intrinsic aspect to tragedy. It just refers to an unhappy ending or something bad happening as an outcome.
She had boarded the will train, and there was no way off.
They were heading to the all aboard the will train. We're heading to the Wild Wild West.
Do you want to build a snowman? It doesn't have to be a snow.
Oh, you thought we were gonna go see a good movie? Motherfucker, you let me choose it for you. And we're gonna go see Wild Wild West. Starring Will Smith and Jackie Chan.
But why was she so against the idea of marriage?
I just never really agreed with the construct.
Exactly.
I just don't agree with it.
I don't know, I don't like that question, Patrick. I know you're just asking through a societal context, the way that other people find it normal, but it's also just so entitled. What makes you think marriage is right? Just because other people told you? Just because it's expected within a society? Just because everyone else does it? Like, therefore it's what you have to do? Like, shed yourself of the primitive, mindless bullshit nature of our species and just do what you gotta do in order to do what you want to do in life. I advise autonomy. I advise going the way that you define for yourself. So at the end of it, you don't really have anyone else to blame. I mean, you can do whatever. You can take your own path, blame another person. Take your own path, blame yourself. Take another person's path, blame yourself. Take another path, blame another person. You can do whatever you want. Point is, I'd advise you try to take the route that would result in the least amount of suffering for yourself and the things that you find important. Or you can just marry and then speak around a red table. On the Smith train. The Smith Express. On the Smith cargo ship. On the Smith 747.
I never have, I still don't.
Right. Yeah.
Till death do us part is real for me. It's just all of the rules and
It's
all
like
of the
you're supposed to do
ideas.
this as a wife. You're supposed to do this as a husband. You're supposed to do this.
Instead of
And
really
what you
just
can't do.
Exactly.
What you can't do, right.
This is a perfect reflection of the standards of me. This is how articulate they are about something that's so foundationally important to how you operate your life. Such a major facet of life. This is how articulate these people are about it. Almost as if like sitting around this red table and talking about it now is like some of the very few times they've actually like put words to their thoughts and feelings and try to articulate these things. This is that's neglect. Sit down. Try to understand things at every turn, right? Like when Googling everything, trying to figure out the definitions of words, giving yourself a further concrete understanding of how reality truly unfolds. And then plot, break things down, like try to figure out what it is that you want, how you're gonna go about defining getting those things, how you're gonna go about doing the steps to do those things. Think about, like, if you just don't Imagine she went back and legit, like, she probably thought about it, but in the times in which all these marriage backwards values were being imposed on her, but she probably never really had productive thought about it, never sat in a room by herself. Just thinking about stuff, right? Do I want to do this? Do I like that? How do I feel about this person? How do I feel about the things that I've done with these people? How do I feel about the way I've been perceived? Is this really what do I have to give in to the things that other people want from me just because they want it? Just because of the things they've already done for me. I didn't choose, I'm grateful, sure, but I didn't choose that. And I don't have to choose this. Or I didn't choose that and I didn't choose this and I don't want that. So what could I do with where I'm at to be able to do what I want? Instead of just mindlessly giving in to the stuff that other people want. And then dealing with the suffering afterwards. Like, wouldn't that hurt more? Going through other people's decisions and then being able to legitimately blame, well, you blame yourself and those other people, right? More so those other people you'd feel like at the time, presumably. But, or would you rather go in the path of you make your own decisions despite all the stuff that other people are applying to you? And even if that doesn't turn out well, then, right, the self, you have one less people to blame, right? There's less of a, I mean, at the end of it, you're probably, it's just random as to what type of mindset somebody would have at the end of it. But like, I don't know, that seems like easier culpability. To blame yourself, okay, maybe I just didn't go on the, do things in my, like knowing that you had control, right? Wouldn't it be easier to like accept that rather than going through a lifetime of another person's decisions, of which you can blame both the people who've caused those decisions for you or have imposed those, and also your inaction or you manifesting those decisions on their behalf. I don't know, it seems the other one's easier. I mean, I could be wrong. Because, you know, say if you go down that other path and other people made these decisions for you, it would be more of an accessible scapegoat, knowing that you know there's some culpability on the decisions that other people have imposed onto you. To me, that seems like more of a weaker person's like preference. Oh, things turned out poorly, but at least I can blame other people, not just myself. I think that's probably. I wonder if she takes accountability for that. I wonder if any of these, I mean, well, probably 100%, especially in traditional monogamous heteronormative entanglements. Usually it's the guy that's taking blame because, well, Western gynocentric views that just enable lack of female accountability. But I want to see what because she seems a little bit more not as traditional through that lens, right? Because she's against marriage, right? I mean, what are her ideas towards like gender roles and such like that? Maybe, I don't know, let's see if we can ever get to that. Let's try to remember. I probably won't by the time I get around to it. Will Jada take culpability for her decisions? For manifesting the decisions that other people have thrusted upon her.
Right?
Absolutely.
Because of this title, wife, is a very difficult...
The accepted conventional
definition of wife.
Right.
The paradigm. In the paradigm, I'm not that.
She seems overwhelmed. You're all saying the same stuff and agreeing with each other. So like when you, I mean, this is already bad communication, not even letting each other speak. And the things that you do say really aren't very articulate or profound. It's almost as like this is the first time you've posed these questions to yourselves. And you're doing that, what, in your 40s, 50s? That's not good. You gotta get ahead on that real early. Or this. But not as nice as this, because these people have money, right?
It's just all of the rules and
it's
all
like
of the
you're supposed
ideas.
to do this as a wife. You're supposed to do this as a husband. You're supposed to do this
Instead of really
and what you
just
can't do.
Exactly.
And what you can't do. Right. Absolutely.
Because of this title, wife is a very difficult.
The accepted
conventional definition of wife.
Right.
The paradigm. In the paradigm, I'm not that.
Then Will goes on to say why he wanted a marriage so badly.
I don't know if I've ever said this. You know how I'm a scientist, so everything is science for me.
Yes.
Clearly not. This is the stuff that you're doing. If you cared about like science, right? Scientists, scientific procedure, you know, quantify something, test it, research, think of a hypothesis, work in ways to, you know, just see if the outcome is that way. Objectivity. Get married. Do a religious thing. No, there's nothing about you that's scientific.
I read something when we first got together that the most successful men in history have been married.
Right.
I knew that I would squander my life if I was running around.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
That just makes no fucking sense.
I like how she was like, oh, that was dumb, because that is a dumb thing. I read somewhere that these people do this particular thing, so I must manifest that attribute because that's the determining factor on what makes them successful. And then he's like, because I don't want to run around, do all these different things, waste my potential. And then Willow's like, yeah, I get that. Yeah. What do you think you did with Jada? It's just, so you inherited in other people, so you did this thing that you thought was right because other people did it. That's why. Again, I've said this in other videos, it's the way that you handle it. Whether you don't get married, whether you do get married, whether you have a partner, whether you have multiple partners, whether you have no partner, it really depends on how you do it. Like, all of these other, just because all those rich, successful people, like, they did it this particular way, that has no bearing on their success. Like, these are all just arbitrary variables that we try to, like, focus on to give us this easy, clean answer. It's an endless amalgam of variables as to why things are and aren't. But I mean, that's also a good reflection of this guy. I mean, he seems rather simple, Will Smith. Seems like a simple guy, as in not very bright. His extent of logic and reasoning, kind of like there's a short distance that covers. I read somewhere that the most rich and powerful people, they're all married. So therefore, I want all that. I want to be rich and powerful, even though I was already rich and powerful by the time I was being good faithful to the first person I was married to. It's just weird. It's crazy, all the different ways people try to apply meaning to life. This is them trying to do that. Or, well, Will Smith in this particular way. In Jada's case, the meaning was given to them and they were put into a paradox. Same for Will. The meaning was given to him, right? Right? Nose scratch. Like, my nose is itchy. Ugh, I don't know what the... And I got a smudge on my... Because I just booped myself in the freaking eye. Okay.
The way my mind works, I can only excel for a woman.
That's pathetic. You tell yourself that, right? My mind does this. Even though I could just be like, no. I could try to, like, break myself out from that mindset. That's, like, ultimate simpy. I don't like these internet words. That's a funny word. Why does simp sound so close to pimp? Those are like polar opposites. Interesting. Words and sounds. But that does make sense. Will Smith doesn't seem too bright.
When the woman who does not believe in the basic fundamentals of a marriage gets coerced to marry a man who only wants a wife so he doesn't derail his perfect career, what could possibly go wrong?
And that's just one way, one intention that people go into a certain entanglement or relationship or partnership or marriage. They get it wrong. What could go wrong? I hope you're not asking that implying that, like, it would go right otherwise. That's one way of things playing out. Or one motivation as to why people do what they do. There's a billion different things everywhere that makes things go wrong just as poorly. That's the frame right there. Here we are. Who doesn't love this guy? That's the sound he's making with that face.
Alright. I say,
I think my ADHD, it's really... Okay, that's not what I wanted. What's jiggy about this? You can see how it looks like he's like, it's dramatic, but then you see cucked. Hold on a sec. Okay, there's something going on. No. Dude, every time I can't make progress in life, there's always something else that's out of my control that's in my way. Do I have to restart it now? I don't even know how to just get rid of that. All right, deleted. Back to the home screen. Pulling up video for you. Cool, we did it this time. No. This isn't too revealing, is it? Eh, whatever. Sex appeal should help. Should it? Is this an OnlyFans exclusive?
you know how I'm a scientist, so everything is science for me.
Yes.
I read something when we first got together.
Unfortunately, Will Smith, he doesn't seem too jiggy with his wife's unfaithfulness to his monogamous standards. Standards, remember. Come on. They act monogamous, but come on. First love at first sight, right? When you first saw Jada. And what, you already had a wife at that time? No. Remember, these are wealthy people who just don't have their shit together, so don't feel bad. If you feel bad, you might need to like question where your priorities lean. You should feel bad about people who deserve it. These people just had such an immense... They fumbled the golden ball, let's just say. A golden ball most people can't even touch in their entire lives. So, remember who a lot of these documentaries are going to be about. The rich people. But it's fun, you know, it's fun to see what's going on. It's just people. People's interesting. People are always interesting, even if grotesque. I skipped again.
That the most successful men in history have been married.
Right.
I knew that I would squander my life if I was running around.
Yeah. Okay.
The way my mind works, I can only excel for a woman.
When the woman who does not believe in the basic fundamentals of a marriage gets coerced to marry a man who only wants a wife so he doesn't derail his perfect career, what could possibly go wrong?
Nothing. It's all right. Everything's fine.
Uh-oh, Richard! Oh, wow!
I mean, in contrast to other relationships, what's so different? In contrast to your average, you know, layman's relationship. I see humans, human nature, that's all I see. So I can't really treat this as if it's an anomaly or anything. It's worse for other people I've seen. Like these guys at least, we saw the crumbling of all these things and how they failed to handle it in the public eye. But even still, like that extent wasn't... O.J. Simpson? That's a good example of not getting too getting a little bit too jiggy with it.
I've never personally shaken hands with a murderer. It's good to see you.
Thank you. Very nice meeting you.
I think it was his idea of a joke.
Nope.
And this is it.
But yeah, no, he assaulted someone. I mean, that could be seen as the climax, or I don't know, maybe we'll see some more spicy stuff in the future if they continue to fail at their personal romantic relationships.
The couple welcomed their son, Jaden Christopher Sire Smith, on July 8, 1998, and their daughter, Willow Camille Rain Smith, on October 31st, 2000. The perfect couple now has the perfect family, a little boy and a little girl.
And a bastard child. A fucking bastard child, Trey. You're a bastard, Trey Smith.
Will continue to dominate Hollywood with hits like Men in Black and the Bad Boy series, as well as Ali and I, Robot. But Will's perfect family needed the perfect home, a 256-acre mansion that Will desired but Jada despised.
No. Sympathy. Look at that. Better image. Whoa. You live in a mansion. Sorry, you live in a castle. Borderline, it's a castle on the interior. It's a mansion on the outside. What the hell? Never give people like this your sympathy. Unless you have no backbone. Unless you aren't an individual. Like, come on. When you're granted a further degree of resources to be able to more accessibly handle these things that you're faced with in life, the standard trials, because this is just normal human stuff, failing a relationship, and you have that to go back to at the end of a day, go fuck yourself. Now, I'm talking to Will Smith's fan, like the people, because they have, in many interviews, have tried to present like, oh, you're wrong to judge me, right? I need to deal my stuff, sure, but you? Because I remember he didn't even apologize to Chris. At least like in a formal, legitimate fashion that wasn't like something written by his PR team or something. Especially like afterwards, right, where he's crying on the stage after assaulting someone because he fails in his personal relationships and his family. You don't even apologize to the one guy that you allowed your failings to spill out onto. Again, no sympathy. Because of that, Will Smith is a bitch. So...
She expressed how it was too big, too expensive, and too much space.
And so is Jada. Screw both of them.
But Will's dreams couldn't be compromised, and he bought it anyway. Nothing good comes from spending your hard-earned money on a family home that your wife doesn't want. You are putting a down payment on discord, and for years you will be paying off a mortgage of misery, or worse.
Okay, again, the fact that you can afford something like that means that you'd be able to get something else similar to, or you have the means to be able to accessibly acquire things akin to that. Money begets money. I'm just making that up. But once you have lots of money and you're making money, chances are you'll be able to make even more money with that, because money tends to be compounding, especially when it comes to brand, right? Your name, the schmish. Okay, your wife doesn't want a house. Cool. Okay, sell it. Do you want it? Keep it. Also, don't be in a stupid-ass monogamous relationship with someone who doesn't want to be in them. And you threw away your monogamous relationship so you could be with somebody else who was going to be unfaithful. No sympathy.
You get no sympathy from me.
From the moment he stepped foot in Hollywood, Will made a deliberate effort to become the biggest movie star in the world, and he did achieve one of the most commercially successful runs in cinema history. Independence Day, Men in Black, Hancock, I Am Legend, Hitch, Shark Tale, Pursuit of Happiness
Garbage Day! Huh? No!
are just a few of the multiple $100 million franchises he starred in.
I've seen all of those. Man, yeah. Even less of an excuse, because like everyone knows you.
The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air had truly transformed into the King of Hollywood, but his legacy extended beyond the silver screen. He ventured into producing films through his production company, Overbrook Entertainment, and continued to push the boundaries of his acting career.
And he's good. He's talented. He's capable. He's good with music, he's a good actor, he's a good dancer. Like, you had it all, and you still have it all. It's just, actually, you don't have it all. You don't have the successful personal, romantic relationship. And it's not even despite all the other stuff that you do have. You just were emotionally unintelligent. So you screwed that up.
Will became widely regarded as a highly skilled and versatile actor. His acting abilities earned him critical acclaim, numerous awards and nominations, and a massive fan following all over the world. By the 2010s, Will had solidified his name as one of the greatest actors of his generation. Jada and Will were seen as a beacon of real love in this chaotic industry.
Okay. I know it's just sensationalization, right? You're representing the ideals of how other people view this thing, right? But I'm just telling you right now, if you view it like that, if you see it as, or looking at these people as if they're like some beacon or any type of influential, if you're not using your own degree of understanding, your own application of how you go about these parts of your life, then you deserve to get munted. Like, these are the beacon of why? Because rich and famous people have sex? Oh man, and they poop out babies, so they name them like alternate versions of their own names, really? Come on. If you ever look to like any rich and famous person, like, as to like how you need to conduct yourself as an individual, it's like, you're gonna get it wrong. Each of these individuals did something specific, had these very specific circumstances line up in a very specific way that they react to in very specific manners. They've went on specific opportunity. It's all specific to the individual. Yet, just a warning, don't try to define or quantify your life through a lens that's given to you, especially by your society, the society that you live in. Like, try to understand, build your own means of understanding to the furthest extent that you can, that your sentient brain allows you, what is right and wrong, what's better or worse. Sorry, not right and wrong, because, it's not, again, not black and white. Better or worse, this, in terms of decisions, in terms of how you should conduct yourself, in terms of the goals that you should achieve, in terms of the sequence of events in your life and how you react to it. I don't know what this is. I think it's like, maybe my nose is screwed, or like maybe I inhale crap in my slave labor place. I noticed that I say like, right, and like that. I apologize. I need to work on how I present my diction. I need to be a little bit more articulate and more concrete with my sentences, and I need to stop doing that. Maybe I broke it when I was like a kid or something, and now it's just munted or something. I don't know. Is it crooked? Oh, look at that. Why? We're talking about Will Smith, not my nose cartilage. But I should probably see if there's anything to that. I skipped again.
Yet Will's career outshined hers so much that she was starting to be known as just Will Smith's wife. Which is kind of what he wanted.
And, like, firstly, for you to want that, that's stupid. Like, you're incredibly insecure, Will. Secondly, for that to affect Jada, get over it. Be great. And then define, like, get great at what you do, and then get enough of it out in the social, landscape in society. And then people will attach whatever the hell crap they did to you. I mean, they already did that in reaction to Will Smith's status. Like, I've never understood that. I never understood the fear of being famous or well-known for something that you don't really want to be well. It's like, if it's positive, right? Okay, if you're infamous, you're a criminal or something, okay, sure. But Like, if you're rich and famous and you have all this resources and all these things, and you're just like, on top of all these other things, I also want you to be able to view me a particular way. It's like, shut up, shut up. Entitled, arrogant, egotistical freaking animal, dude. Now, the document's probably gonna lead up to, oh, it affected her, she didn't want to be seen that way. But it's like, nobody should, I don't care, and you shouldn't care. In fact, you should point out, you should be like, oh, that's dumb. I don't, like, who cares what other people consider you? I'm not gonna shed any of my sympathy for you just because you have achieved this very particular and exclusive position in society, and you want even more. You want other people to, you're demanding respect. I hate that, dude. Earn it. Don't just ask. It's crazy, but you can't really expect that from people. Accountability and self-acknowledgement, and that's like higher tiers of a sentient being. You gotta climb up the ranks of intelligence.
Jada only appeared in low-budget films and Will's music videos until landing more substantial roles as Niobe in the Matrix series and Gloria in Madagascar. To make the resentment even stronger, Jada's children were becoming superstars in their own right. Willow's music career started off on fire with Whip My Hair peaking at number 11 on the Billboard Hot 100.
That's pathetic, man. Those are things those kids, granted, those kids were handed their success by their environment. But they still were doing something. Willow and Jaden Jaden was acting, Willow was making music, dancing, performing in music videos, like, even to this day they're still doing, and yes, they have all those things handed to them. Because if they tried to do that entirely on their own volition and they started somewhere else in life, you wouldn't have heard about them. They're handed their success, but they're still doing something with it. Isn't Jaden just an icon living? Didn't he start a record label? Misfits just did it?
What you call a gay con living? Started sucking penis, fat dick, just get it. Whoa, dick get higher than the ceiling.
Whoa, like he has nylon and it covers about 5 minutes. He's too hot in the business.
I'm sorry. He's gone.
Dude, like, oh my god, like, can we talk about, like, the political and economic state of the world right now?
To make the resentment even stronger, Jada's children were becoming superstars in their own right. Willow's music career started off on fire with Whip My Hair peaking at number 11 on the Billboard Hot 100. Jaden starred in 2 massive box office hits, The Pursuit of Happiness and The Karate Kid. In 2009, Barack Obama accepted his Nobel Peace Prize, which was presented by the Smiths, and the only interview he would do was with Will and Jada.
Wow, really? I mean, that doesn't make a difference, who cares, but interesting. Were you talking about Obama? I'd only ever do an interview with Will. Okay. That's just I'm not that it means that, it's interesting. It's like, oh, okay, why? The president. An interview with, imagine you get a few interviews here or there.
I want you to know I love memes. I love them, all right?
There's no maybe. Take off your clothes. Externally, our family was winning. And there was a period, mommy woke up and cried 45 days straight. I started keeping a diary.
You missed some days.
It was every morning. I think that's the worst I've ever felt in our marriage. I was failing miserably.
Why? Because you're not adhering to the failings and insecurities of the person that doesn't even want to be in a monogamous relationship with you. Insecure. That's pathetic. Really, you have everything and you can't even get past that? It's like I mean, you dug yourself in. Your kids and a family. Just discard her. Making me feel bad? Okay, screw you. Go. I'm doing all the stuff I feel like I should be doing. I mean, fault on both ends, right? He wanted a monogamous relationship, he had one, but he threw it away with somebody so that he can get with somebody he didn't want to be in that. And the person, Jada, you don't want... You're complaining and you're saying it's not good enough despite all these things that are afforded to you, despite all these things, and all because of your own failings, your own insecurities, your own lack of initiative. Like, you're just, you're just not using what you have. Oh, man. Oh, you have so much, too. Dude, you could just wake up the next day and just start a production company. You could wake up, you could write your own goddamn, screenplay. You could... Oh man, you could start branching out into all sorts of other stuff and find something that you may really enjoy instead of just fucking waking up and crying every day like a fucking little bitch. Oh, good. Hopefully your failings continue to compound and then it topples in on. I mean, I wouldn't even say it's already toppled, right? Maybe, I don't know what's going on in their personal life, right? We can see, right? We can see a perceivable climax, quote unquote, when from the slap. But what about her? I'd like to see, is there any footage of maybe them just like breaking down, right? The guy who made, stop, right. Is there any like footage of them breaking down on the street or something? Ripping out their hair and wandering around naked and flailing or something? It's akin to that guy who made the Coney documentary. That would have been like a thing that you could point to and say, oh, there's the resulting, the finale, not really finale, God, I wish my vocabulary was I need to continue doing and expand my vocabulary. I didn't bring the laptop. I should have like, oh, what is this? What's a word to describe build up, a release after a bunch of build up? I just keep using the word climax. Eruption? I haven't seen any. You've seen spurts of that here and there, but I mean, how would someone like her erupt? You saw Will's, right?
Did you have a good time working with your dad? Well, no, because he tricked me. I thought it was a comedy, but it was actually a drama. What does your dad do?
Keep my name out your fucking mouth!
Maybe we'll never see that. Maybe they just erupt onto Will. So that, you know, they don't have to show it to everyone, so that they realize that this person's actually like kind of an insufferable, insecure little gremlin. Let's be real here. Like, come on, you have everything and you don't know what to do with it. That's your fault. Oh, but sympathy for these people because they're rich and famous, but screw all those other people who are faced with identical problems that have considerably less to fall back on as a way of coping with it. No, sorry, rich famous people. I've been told by my culture that I need to find those people to be important so I can focus on them and give them my money, because that's the point. Celebrity idolization. The point of that is just to get money from you.
Will and Jada Pinkett Smith were long romanticized in Hollywood as the perfect couple.
And it's to remind you that you're inferior. And then people kind of just accept, they agree, like, yes, I look up to these people, I need to find a way to replicate them, right? The beacon of love, representation of love in an industry, a chaotic industry, as if life isn't just chaotic. Every industry is chaotic. Humans are chaotic. You can't really expect anything more from people. Money doesn't change who you are. It emphasizes who you are. It reinforces certain aspects of you that were already there. You don't turn into a monster once you get power and influence. You probably were already a monster. It's just you were now given a further degree of input in your tangible environment. We're just seeing the failings of human nature being exemplified tenfold through a flat screen, of which they're able to dramatize and sensationalize these sequence of events that played over years and years, so that we can consume it in a 30-minute video. Well, anything akin to, like, whether it be a documentary or a TV series or just an interview or whatever it is. It's insane, man. Life is wacko.
But on the outside, I was winning.
But all of the money, fame, and success came at the cost of deteriorating their relationship.
No, that wasn't the cost of those things. That seemed inevitable, to be honest. Are you kidding me? You dumped your already established monogamous marriage just because you felt stuff that were super intense you didn't understand, just so you can get in a monogamous relationship with someone who doesn't want to be monogamous. Oh no, it's the fame. No, the fame is just the white noise, right? Right. It's just the frosting, the salad.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
In his memoir, Will detailed he and Jada's greatest argument that stemmed from a list of priorities each wrote independently, then shared with one another. In order of importance, Jada's priorities were the children, Will, herself, and extended family and friends.
This has not been... Okay, go down the list. Your children. I'm now anxious. I'm now insecure and angry that they're outplaying me. They're succeeding more within the world, because even though, you know, success is being handed to all of us, I just am not doing much with it. They're doing a little bit more with it, and that makes me angry. But it's my priority, my children, and the family unit that I didn't want to be a part of, and these kids that I didn't want to have. Will, the guy who you don't want to be in a monogamous relationship with, like, you can still have affection for this person, and you could act upon it in a healthy, intelligent fashion if you were just honest with yourself and the people around you and you actually had a backbone. There are ways that you can go about these things without being a blithering animal. But I don't believe you when you say that's one of your second priorities. 3 is myself. I both agree and disagree with the placement of where you put that, right? Because yes, it is, you are putting other stuff above yourself if you're just not going to make decisions that are going to benefit you overall in the long run. But in the end, you made decisions that, they didn't benefit you, but they're decisions you wanted to make that screwed up everything later on. This is a show right here, this list. I would personally believe that Will Smith's list would probably be a little bit more honest, because he doesn't really seem to have much self-awareness. Which, that's better than this. Stupidity is different from just cowardice, let's just say. Both, like, evil can be found within. That's usually where evil manifests itself. Evil tends to be benign, right? It tends to be on a number on a paper, or like just somebody clicking a button or something. In terms of the evil, the extent of evil that manifests as a result of either stupidity, or, you know, stupidity versus cowardice, stupidity is usually just lacking in self-awareness. I did something that was belligerent that I'm unaware of, that I just don't know any better. So suffering happened as a result. Cowardice, I would say that cowards in many instances can almost admit that they're cowards and can find ways to rationalize it. That is worse, the ramification of such, because it's a little bit more tactical than stupidity. I have to choose when and where to be spineless so that I can avoid certain things, so that those things could swell later on in the future. So I guess Will Smith's stupidity, in this case, if we were to try to have it more clear-cut and just break it down generals, Will Smith would be the stupid one. Jada would be the coward. The manifestation of Will Smith's stupidity is assaulting someone. The manifestation of Jada's cowardice is a failed personal romantic life. I mean, granted, you know, Will Smith, there's more. He didn't just slap. He then slapped back afterwards, saying,
I'm being called on in my life to love people and to protect people. In this business, you got to be able to have people disrespecting you. And you got to smile and you got to pretend like that's okay.
I apologized to everyone except the person that I assaulted. And then it took him however long later for someone else to write an apology for him. And then afterwards, he got angry when Chris Rock made fun of him, and even more, because you can make fun of anyone, but it's even better if it's entirely justified, right? On his stand-up tour, saying, that was a low blow.
According to ET Online, quoting a source close to Will Smith said he is outraged, hurt, and embarrassed by what Chris Rock said about him, further adding, I'm shocked Netflix will give him a platform to attack me and my family with such provocative words. The source further spills out that Will Smith is embarrassed and hurt by what the comedian said about him and his family during the special, where also Chris referenced the cheating rumors surrounding Will and his wife Jada Pinkett Smith and August Alsina in 2020.
On the other hand, Will wrote himself, Jada, the children, and his career.
Myself, Jada, yeah! Dude! Look, I would say Will Smith's myself, Jada, the children, that seems honest. Like, that was consistent with the stuff that you're saying. Like, if you go, like, I've seen an interview where he's just like, I'm doing this all so that I can be seen a certain way, but realistically, the point is for myself, right? So that I can feel a certain way about the way that other people feel about me. Myself, Jada, before the children, yeah? My career. Okay. Again, I don't know what's going on here. And, you know, we only can take so much away from what these people have written down on here as a reflection of what's going on here, because that's the translation. So take that with a grain of salt. His career. I mean, based on what I've seen. It's basically, you're still making films, you're still doing stuff, you're still putting yourself out in the public eye. Sort of just, I guess, just like an average job for you, you know, going out and acting and going and doing all that stuff. You put your career underneath. I mean, that's what they're saying, right? And I'm just trying to interpret an answer, or at least my perception of it based on the information I've been presented with. But that seems honest. I don't know. I would think that myself and my career would almost be intertwined, especially from his deep sense of insecurity. One of the interviews, I might be able to pull it up, where he says he wanted to be in a position where he would be the guy that'd always be able to get the girl, or something like that. He desperately wants to be seen a certain way. He wants to succeed so exponentially, I guess, to get back at someone, or like I can kind of relate to that. You would think that that would almost be inherently intertwined with, you know, the self, especially if you place so much stock all throughout your life in that facet, in the insecurities, in the way that you believe you are perceived. Could it be that he's dishonest? Could it be that he maybe himself doesn't know? Could it be that he's leaving certain things out, or maybe he's flat out lying? Could it just be, could it be entirely legitimate? We'll never know. These are just black little words on a white essay page. Let's continue.
On the other hand, Will wrote himself, Jada, the children, and his career. Jada was devastated to read Will prioritize himself over Trey, Jaden, and Willow. He explained that if he doesn't take care of himself first, he couldn't provide for the rest of his family. But the damage was already done. Her heart was shattered.
Oh, so it's sort of like if you were to give someone like a little questionnaire or something that would reflect certain personality things here or there. Say if you're taking a personality test and they ask you all of these very specific these questions, say how would you react to this on a level from yada yada, you don't, from 0 to 4 or whatever, you don't just have the individual's interpretation of that question, you also have how they translate that through their answer. Take some example. Punch this guy, yes or no. 0, you don't want to punch him. 4, you do want to punch him, like really badly. One person, maybe if this person, take an example, somebody reads that and they do want to punch the person, and they think maybe they want to punch him really bad. This is kind of a dumb example, but hopefully you understand what I'm saying. Maybe they want to punch him, take a scale from 0 to 5 or 1 to 5 or something. Maybe they put down a 3, even though they feel like a 5 or something, because how they picture what 3 would look like on the page is different than what they have in their head. Something kind of like that, right? You take a personality test and it tells you something like a political leaning test. Are you strongly agree, middle, indifferent, disagree, strongly disagree? And you have different ideas as to what you consider to be, strongly agree, strongly disagree, those things, or strongly agree, strongly disagree. Yes.
You fuck young boys, Valdez. Are you a madman?
That could be that. I mean, it could be anything really. We're sort of just coming up with our own versions of it based on based on a documentary. And she's devastated. So is she sort of like conformed emotionally to this reality? Because if she were to just, that's really depressing, that thought. She conformed to this reality, manifested it despite it not really being what she wanted on the inside, but she knows practically and tangibly speaking she needs to hold on to this arrangement for obvious reasons. You wouldn't want to give up a lifestyle like that, huh? That's being directly afforded to you by one of the most successful people in the world. You ate the golden apple, you couldn't handle it or whatever. I just made that up, but hopefully the analogy sticks.
Are you fucking serious?
So not only do you want all of that, but almost kind of like reluctantly, when the guy who's giving you all those things is just like, I gotta take care of myself first, bitch. Just like, oh, that's funny. We need a bit of a toot, yeah? A wee bit of a fucking toot, yeah? That's gonna be a problem.
Meanwhile.
Now we can do this the easy way or we can do it the hard way. The choice is yours.
Well, I don't think you and I will be doing anything any kind of way.
Okay, I see you choosing the hard way.
The damage was already done. Her heart was shattered. She didn't even wipe the tears. Jada stuck around in this marriage that she never wanted in the first place so long because of her kids and the pressure to maintain the image created around the Smiths.
So insecurity is the reason? I think a better and more justified reason would just be practicality. Or excess, luxury, not the prestige, but what prestige begets you. A baguette.
No prison dog, just your baguette in a pushing.
Baguette. What prestige allows for you in your life. Being rich, being famous, being able to go anywhere, do anything, whatever you want, whenever. I think that's a little bit more of a reason. I don't know, when you frame it like this, it kind of makes it seem like, oh, they were trying to do what's best for the others. Well, maybe I see it as insecurity. You're worried about public image. Why? Because you put yourself out there in the public eye and in very personal aspects of your life, and you're worried that you have to maintain it. Man, that's like having kids and then being like, oh God, I hate the responsibility that comes with it. Oh, damn it. Let me just flail. And then cry. And then sit around a red table and talk about our entanglements.
On one hand, I wanted a career. I'd worked so hard and yet there I was, strung out on having to make decisions based on that, and it was too difficult.
No, you weren't, you son of a bitch. No, you weren't. You shut your goddamn mouth right fucking now. Oh my god. I want a career. I worked so hard and yet there I was strung out on having to make decisions. Oh no! In your giant ass mansion, living alongside a guy who can do all of those things and have provided you the platform to be able to do those things. It's just you just, I'm not sure what you do with your time. Oh, shut up. Shut up. Sacrificed your career for her famous kids. You entitled, arrogant, mindless, disgusting animal. You created them and they were able to do it. Yeah. And then you got angry at them when they got ahead of you in that regard. You manky, you little slug fest, little disgusting, decrepit animal slime being piece of shit, garbage man, porcupine ass looking fucking potato head. Shut up. Gross. This is the person that you threw away your already established monogamous relationship, the thing that you wanted. That's who you threw all that away for this? Fuck both of these people. Man. Ugh. Should it be a star? Should it be a mom? Should it be a wife? You can't be all three. Something has to give. Oh no, other people's decisions. I have to cave and oh no. The ramifications of the decisions that I made. And even so, even if you make those decisions, you can still adjust. You can still what does that mean? To be a wife, in this context. A guy who's going out doing all sorts of different stuff. Do you have to be home and cook and clean? Do you have to you have to take care of the kids? I mean, that comes after, but just looking at the wife-husband dynamic. Just looking at that. Oh, I gotta do this, but what do you have to do? Everything's good. Everything's fine. You have all the resources to outsource everything. You never have to cook, you never have to clean, you never have to determine even the stuff that you'd be doing for a day. You can do anything. You're like, oh, but I gotta do this. But I gotta do that. Oh no, I don't. It's so hard to make this decision when I have so much. Oh my god. And I gotta be a mom. Oh. Not really. Oh god. So they both don't have any self-awareness. But her level of hers is disgusting. That's disgusting, dude. So you just didn't sit down and think and then commit to those thoughts and try to define a sequence of steps that you must make in order to get yourself to where you want to be in your life. Instead, you're just getting thrown around by appealing haphazardly to other people, to other people's insecurities, to your own insecurities. Back to back, you guys just get it wrong. That's it. You fucked it up. Nobody else but you. God.
Should I be a star? Should I be a mom? A wife? You can't be all three. Something has to give.
Oh man, should I be rich and famous and have the access to that option? The fact that I can even be in a position to be able to make these types of to be able to make a decision on which option I want to make. Oh no, what do I do? Where do I go? There's so many paths and they're all laden with gold. All of the streets are paved with platinum. Oh no, I'm blinded by the light. Shut up.
Did you ever feel like Jada was ungrateful?
Hell yeah.
I knew your answer before you were gonna say that. Hell yeah.
Look at everything that I've done for you.
Yes. That was another
you
thing.
You ungrateful.
But that was the other thing, because there were times I felt ungrateful.
Oh no! You felt you felt something that you would normally reasonably feel in reaction to being ungrateful, especially in this type of position. And now you're here trying to elicit sympathy for it. Oh, you think acknowledging it now? There were times I felt ungrateful too. So what about me and how I feel? Despite everything that was handed to you. That also makes it even worse. I mean, ugh.
Because I was like, look at your life.
Yes. Yeah. Dude, look at your life. Look at your life.
How could you be so unhappy. I used to think I was crazy.
Even Will's children realized they were failing. Will recalled a moment where he was eating ice cream in the kitchen with his daughter and wife. Willow turned to Jada and said, "It's so sad. Daddy has a picture of a family in his mind, and it's not us." This unstable relationship could not last, and in 2011, they reached a tipping point. In August 2011, rumors began that Jada was having an affair with Mark Anthony, her co-star on Hawthorne.
Oh, piece of shit, dumbass teenagers running around, porking each other, lying about it. You animals. Screw all of you, man. It's funny, like, I know it's just documentary trying to get something across, make it seem more dramatic, but what a worthless species, dude. No. She was having an affair. There were rumors that she was with Mark Anthony. Oh no. I skipped again.
At the time, Anthony was the subject of many tabloids following his public separation from Jennifer Lopez. However, Jada's rep released a statement saying, "All of the rumors regarding Mark Anthony and Jada are false," but the straw that finally broke the camel's back was during Jada's 40th birthday celebration. Will had started prepping for Jada's 40th 3 years earlier. He invited hundreds of guests, friends, family, other celebrities to a weekend-long celebration in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Mary J. Blige performed, and the guests were in awe of this beautiful celebration Will curated. But the 3-year-long surprise was a documentary Will made tracing Jada's family lineage back to slavery. Will resurfaced unseen pictures, found family members, and found a recording of her late beloved grandmother that she and her family had never heard before. These were very deep and personal messages from her grandmother that he broadcasted to hundreds of people at the party. The entire place is in tears. Her family, my family, everybody. All except Jada. She sat motionless, refusing to make eye contact with me. The video ends, family and friends erupt in a standing ovation. That night, Jada demanded that they cancel the rest of the weekend. Will said no, and she finally erupted.
Wow. I used the exact word.
Previously on The Walking Dead.
We can see a perceivable climax, quote unquote, from the slap, but what about her? What's a word to describe build-up, a release after a bunch of build-up? I just keep using the word climax. Eruption?
Will said no, and she finally erupted.
Doing all this stuff for someone who's ungrateful, you can almost kind of feel it. And yes, it is also kind of unreasonable. Don't be... you're both unreasonable, so like, you can't... No one's worse than the other. But, and you guys seem to both not be entirely against broadcasting all of the explicit, nuanced, personal details of your lives. So... Especially, that was before, too. Presumably before, I don't know when the red table crap happened. But that was before then. So if it were before then, the red table, that stuff happening, and then the red table, then it's like, did you change your mind? Was that just something, was it something else that was it not just that? Maybe it was a reflection of everything else, you know, like when you're with, you know, interact with someone and all these different, tiny little nuanced slights kind of build up, and then they do something that's not really related to the thing that you have a problem with them when it comes to them. It's almost as if like you're reacting to that in reaction to this other thing that wasn't necessarily that. It's almost like you having trouble being able to have a conversation about these things, these grievances you may have with somebody. That's my guess of what that is, because that seems kind of your reaction seems kind of inconsistent. Clearly, if Will spent 3 years thinking that it would be fine, and then afterwards you guys do stuff like this, right? The table talk. Oh, yes, dude. Freeze frame. Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. Iconic. Living. Start a regular label, Ms. Fish.
I'll cancel tomorrow. She was like, it's my birthday.
Yeah.
Right? And she's told me that the party was the most ridiculous display of my ego.
Ooh.
Yeah, definitely. But she's married to, you know, Jada's with you, considers himself your wife, doing all these things. And it's like, do you not see this, like, you clearly mean something to him. Did you not at least see that? The effort that he put in? Like, even if it was short-sighted, even if it was negligent, like egotistical, he still put in all that work and effort just to display something. It was definitely for other people, but it was also for you. That's the way I see that. That's a lot of effort, put in for years back to back, doing something for someone that he considers to be incredibly invaluable to him, just to have them shit on him for it. I'm not like that. This facial expression isn't like, oh man, sympathy. No, it's just I'm understanding. Yeah, it seems Will Smith paid way more for the relationship than Jada did. That's usually how it goes. It's usually the dude, unless the dude is able to be a scumbag to have lots of options and take advantage of people and then just discard them and do damage. Emotionally speaking, in my personal experience, from a lot of things that I've seen, it's usually the dude taking it. But
Crushed, right? And to this day, I know I was crushed because it was true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, probably. But like, you could celebrate the party in a way that she wants on a different day. Like Jada, you could also be like, I want this, and I want to do this, and I want to go do that. And then you could just do it. I know it's, when you have all that money and resources, I know it's hard to make a decision on what awesome thing to do next, right? And I'm so sorry that you have that problem in your life. Like, that's rough, dude. Man. But like, okay, egregious egotistical display, all right? Is this supposed to be for my birthday? No, I want to do something else. Okay, next weekend, let's go to Cabo. Spend an entire month there if we fucking want to, because we can do whatever we want. Oh, man.
It wasn't a party for her.
Yeah.
And
so does that absolve you, Jada, of you being an ungrateful little shitter? Yeah, see, all of those things, true. Ego, did it for himself, but he still put an effort under the idea of doing it for you. That clearly was his intention. Your birthday, going into your family history, trying to get all these things about you, building almost like a documentary about, well, he did, right? I don't know specifically, I'm not gonna watch that, but building a documentary about you, and like, that obviously stands for something that you just threw a bag in his face because you're an ungrateful little shitter. And you can't feel bad for Will, because again, you have everything, you can do whatever you want, and this is what you choose.
when she called me on that, that's when I snapped. And
Years later, Will admits he wasn't doing this gesture for Jada, but at the time he couldn't understand what he may have done wrong.
You didn't do anything wrong, given context to the things that you already display to the public. Through that lens, which it seems like that's already been defined for both of you. Red table talk? Like, it's on the dude? Why are we always trying to hold that dude accountable? Man.
When they returned to Los Angeles, they separated, and he said to Jada, "I retire from trying to make you happy. You are free. You need to go make yourself happy and prove to me that it's even possible. But I quit. You go do you, and I'ma go do me."
Choose a better person who's like already happy with themselves as an individual instead of being an insecure little husk of fecal matter. I mean, you're also that, clearly, if that's what you gravitate to. I don't know if that's true. I don't really see people gravitate, maybe I'm wrong, but I see people colliding. I don't see any, like, when it comes to these types of entanglements, people don't gravitate because that implies, like, you just know. Like, your feelings are somehow based on something legitimate and profound. They're not. You just feel immense chemicals fire off in your brain that, you know, signals affection towards this thing or these things that you've quantified as, you know, being worthy as being perceived that way. I mean, clearly it's not really intentional, right? If it's just passionate, intense, mindless emotions, but, like, you just didn't handle it right. You didn't handle it right. I used right that time instead of just right. Okay. We've got another 15 minutes. 2 entire hour-long recordings. And I got through 15 minutes of the documentary. And we're back. How's it going? More of this, more reacting to stuff. More people are watching than I thought. Thank you for watching. Because you know, it's something. It's something or other. Hopefully I can provide some insights or be entertaining. I mean, the main goal is entertainment. So if you're watching, that means something must be, I don't know, I can't. You'd think things would mean other things, but things sort of just mean. So, either way, thank you.
Thanks! Love you! Forever!
So we are to resume with the Schmiffs. The Grill Smith. I think we left off, you can't make his wife happy. I think that's where we left off. Something about a giant birthday party. And I guess Jada did not like that. How dare you go to this egregious extent of effort to try to show that you care. I don't want that. I don't want you showing that you care, even though you gave me everything. And yes, it's other people around you have to find. I mean, that's kind of what life of an actor, right? Your success is determined by, well, somebody, for a lot of women, it's whoever executive wants to sleep with them, and for dudes, it's sort of just like, oh, I guess we can make money off I mean, it's either way, we can make money off you, but the standards are a little bit... Actually, I can't even say that. All sorts of people, just from the way that they look, the way that they present themselves, it's sort of... Dude, Natalie Portman was discovered at the age of like 10 by some guy who saw her eating pizza in some pizza shop, and then that gave them an acting career. Like, there's clearly an alternative, especially when you take into context that the first movie that this person was cast in, Leon the Professional. It's a fine movie, but plot-wise...
Not thirsty? You know, girls' first time is very important.
Oh, kitty!
Anyways, I guess that somewhat relates to this acting stuff. Now the kids suffer.
When they returned to Los Angeles, they separated, and he said to Jada, "I retire from trying to make you happy. You are free. You need to go make yourself happy and prove to me that it's even possible. But I quit. You go do you, and I'ma go do me." They didn't file for divorce, and they didn't announce to the public that they were separated, which would cause confusion for years to come. According to Will, he and Jada didn't reunite romantically until November 2016, which would mean that they were technically separated from September 2011 to November 2016. Will and actress Margot Robbie began working together on the set of the crime drama Focus.
Hey, I mean, it's that same abstract thing that determines whether or not people aren't necessarily romantically involved and what gets people together. It's all motivated by the same thing. So it could be one thing or another, it could be both, it could be nothing. You could do whatever you want. Are these two people who everyone's who everyone's fixating their attention on, can do whatever they like. And they kind of do it, right? They do it, but through a lens that's defined for them. And whenever you do that, you just suffer because you're living other people's values. And here's the fallout, the ramifications of such.
Insiders claimed Will and Margot were getting close on set, even skipping the wrap party to hang out in Will's trailer. Star magazine added fuel to the fire, reporting a photo booth incident where Will appeared shirtless, and Margot lifted her shirt to reveal lingerie.
I don't know. Is it the way it's being dramatized? I mean, that's just the style of the documentary creator, the Patrick closed captioning. But what is, like, the subject matter, the topic? It's just people failing at monogamy. It's rich people failing when it comes to their personal relationships. That's when you break it down, that's all this is. Yet, we are infatuated. Turn on the news, you can hear any harrowing, dramatic story, but I don't know, it's very interesting. You could say arbitrary nature of our interests. I mean, this is just what I'm reacting to right now. It's always about people, right? The stories and the tales and the lessons. What lesson could be taken from this, huh? Monogamy doesn't work? I mean, granted, there's a billion things you could take away from anything. You can learn, and you could interpret a lesson. But if you wanted to be that guy and try to like rip something from this, because that's sort of the main theme. It's romance, right? And this is an example of people like who you'd think would have the most accessible means of manifesting a successful monogamous entanglement. That's a fun word. It's a great way of just not saying I feel entangled with my husband's best friend. It's an entanglement with my I got my boyfriend and my husband and my lover. Just different types of entanglements. It's like, that's fine. Like, I'm the last guy to think that there's like, you think you can surprise me with the way that you like conduct your life? I've seen it all, motherfucker. In fact, stuff like this I consider to be rather minute when it comes to the overall conduct. Whether you're with one person, whether you're with multiple, whether you're with some here or there. Either way, it's just going to be a bunch of emotional depravity. Depravity is that's a negative connotation. Debauchery, which also has a negative, depending on who you ask. Not me. I love debauchery. But if we were, in my instance of using that to describe this, that's exactly what it. But if you were to like try to pull like a theme, a conclusion away from this, then this is a great counter argument to monogamy. What, you think all the other types of entanglements don't work? Look at this. This is something that should have worked, right? Because these people are able to do whatever they want. And even with that, even with access to anything, everything, they still fucked it up. It's just a little bit of that Smith. Na.
You can also get jiggy and shake your sack booty. Go ahead, do the jiggy shaker, the sack shaker. Give me the sack shaker, sack thing. Shake your sack booty. Take your hands off it and shake that booty. Pull your zipper up, I know you can shake it. Shake it! Oh yes, that's some sack booty right there.
It's nothing too crazy. Like, I'm glad to be hearing a story about this rather than like how it all culminated in someone's like murder or something. So this isn't too bad. It's just there's a layer of distance. Like, these people are able to live such exorbitantly exclusive lives where everyone takes an interest in the stuff they do. Yet those same people still want to shred sympathy for them. Why? Oh, because you want to, because it makes you feel something. You feel good or something. You think well, it could be a few things. People like to shred sympathy just in general when it comes to all sorts of stuff. Just because it's a personal thing. It helps them, make them feel better. Whether it be through being seen as a good person, whether it be through some indication of themselves about their virtue, for whatever reason. Where I was going with that. Oh, but people feel more inclined to care more about people like this because of their stature in the social hierarchy. People want to give them that extra degree. Like, in the same vein that these people are held to higher scrutiny in society, which I don't really agree with that. Like, just because everyone knows about you and catalogs your life and reports and gives you money for it, doesn't mean, I'd argue you're held to a lower standard than other people. If you get caught, you go to prison, people know who you are, they'll be more inclined to treat you in accordance to that.
In America, if you have enough influence, you will never get sent to prison. Like this guy from the DuPont family that R-worded his own daughter. And if for some reason you do get sent to prison because you weren't able to buy off the judge or something, you're not going to be staying in prison for very long.
Oh, you commit some violent crime, you go to jail, pay a hefty sum of money, and you get sent to a prison that's designed like a hotel, versus your average poor person who gets thrown into a torture dungeon, of which them being tortured makes a lot of money for the people who house and clothe and feed them and outsource their labor for cents on the hour. It's disgusting. So I don't agree with the argument that successful, like, celebrities are held to a higher standard or higher scrutiny. They're not. It's just they have attention. But what comes with that attention is that extra layer of sympathy. Despite after all this, despite who these types of people are, there are people who are firmly like, okay, I am here to support you, because that makes them feel good. I think that's probably an inherited social thing. You're told to worship these people. You're told to view them as better than everyone else. So maybe it's just people who don't know any better who do that, right? Right, like the celebrity worship, right? The have some person who's like rich and famous who you just idolize, And you have it. I never understood that. Like, be an individual. Have something going for yourself instead of just trying to prop up the achievements of other people who've already had their achievements recognized. It's like, come on, man. Live your own life. Be an individual. Yeah. I guess starting off with why I paused here, the monogamy thing, right? If it's what's right, why didn't this work? Is it because they're emotionally... These are normal people. Like, I wouldn't say that Will Smith and Jada Smith are really any different from any other person. They just have money, and we are aware that they have money. And they have money doing something we are aware of who they are through. But they still messed it up monumentally. Just like everyone else, whether they have... all the people have less money, all the people here, all the people over there. It's just human emotion. Human emotion is intrinsically volatile, intrinsically fickle, right? It's not... That's why it's like you have to... If you're going to go into anything like this, any entanglement, any romantic establishment, anything, whether it be multiple people, a few people, it doesn't matter. You are going to suffer. You are opening yourself up so that you're to be vulnerable with whatever comes up and needs to come down. Everything's finite. Everything has beginning, middle, and end. Not everything happens forever. Like, even if it works, it still needs to end. And then, because of all that stuff leading up to it, that pain, that suffering, that will be insurmountable. It is inevitable. So, if you just, I guess in general, if you got a partner, if you have somebody you really deeply, this may suck hearing this, right? But everything is finite. People's feelings could be this way forever and then suddenly swap the other way just because of crap they don't understand or know. It just is. That's why it's hard to respect. That's why when I see stuff like this, I'm both expecting it and not giving much of a shit. It's great content. It's a great thing, great topic of conversation, but no, screw these people. These people have options. These people are able to more accessibly enjoy this part of their life. Because, it's not about who you are. It's about what you are and how you can make the other person feel. Because this sucks. Again, more harsh themes. Nobody can ever love you for who you are. People love the feeling that you elicit from them, right? And if they can find other people or other instances to be able to evoke something somewhat similar, or they feel like it's not necessarily an exclusive feeling, which it isn't. It's just drugs. It's just an ingrained opiate that you have to learn how to deal with. Like, it could just end. Things could change. It really doesn't matter. It's just feelings. And that's the problem with sort of just building a life around your feelings, like trying to haphazardly mold it into some poorly defined whole. This suffering, you get things wrong, you do things poorly, you make mistakes. Your current decision-making ability is exacerbated further by the indulgence in the ingrained opiate of sexuality. You really gotta, be emotionally... I consider myself, emotionally capable, at least to an extent. I don't know how... You never know, especially when pushed, but... Even still, I couldn't even handle just a surface-level entanglement that didn't mean anything, that didn't amount to anything, that wasn't... I consider myself a responsible drug user, and I got fucking murked, dude. So, I feel like your average person would your average person, how well can your average person just handle drugs in general? That's what you should be asking when it comes to this, because it's no different than coke or heroin or alcohol. It's a substance that makes you feel amazing. Yeah, especially given all the stuff around it. It's just bullshit, all of it.
The public assumed he and Margot were either having an affair or that he and Jada were in an open relationship. We now know that he and Jada were separated, and in 2013, Jada responded to the rumors, almost letting the cat out of the bag. He can do whatever he wants because at the end of the day, Will is his own man. This statement further confused the public, who took it as confirmation of an open relationship. Jada later rewrote her statement on Facebook saying, "Here's how I will change my statement. Will and I both can do whatever we want because we trust each other to do so. This does not mean we have an open relationship. This means we have a grown one."
What? This does not mean we have an open relationship. This means we have a grown one. Is that you're just changing the words in the sentence to denote some sort of different meaning? An open, this means we have a grown one. Okay, so it could just be publicity stuff, right? You're just saying stuff to give people some sort of sustenance, given the parasites that are constantly prodding and probing into your life. And granted, I don't have any. Who cares? I never care if a celebrity gets like chased or attacked by like paparazzi. That's your life. You benefit from those very same people who are trying to profit off of you. But this could just be fluff, right? Because that doesn't mean anything. If we have a grown, what does that mean? It's not open, even though you can kind of just mess with it. I mean, they haven't really, I know a lot of people who post like this, they say so much that seems like it would mean much, but it really, in the end, they're just flailing, mindless nonsense. We have an Oprah, this means we have a grown one. Take a step back. Think about who you are. Think about why you are. Think about the things you do.
Will, you've been through hell. Your wife banged your son's best friend in your house, embarrassed you nationally, had you crying in front of millions. We admire your strength, your professionalism, your love for your family. But if it ever was a time for payback, do it, Will. F*** the Williams sisters, Will. Both of them. It's Eggleston. Sign me.
Who are you happy? Are you surrounded by the right people? It's just dumb. It's just yeah. I mean, what have I not already said about this stuff? Let's see if we can come across some new stuff.
Margot addressed the rumors on Twitter. There's absolutely no truth to the ridiculous rumor in Star Mag. It's disappointing that goofing around on set could be taken so out of context. Their relationship remained estranged behind the scenes, but in public, Will and Jada continued showing up to red carpet events and award shows together hand in hand. To make things even more confusing, she said this on Queen Latifah's show in 2014.
Jada would come into my trailer and tell me, girl, she was in love.
Yes. And
With
still
Will.
am.
And still are. Would come into my trailer and tell me, girl, she was in love.
That's the cutest fucking thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
And still are.
Oh my god. A rich and famous person feels something. Oh. And we're all sitting here in the audience so that we can consume the stories and gossip and rumors that these rich people in their gross little depraved. And yes, they're like, I think I said this before, money exacerbates who you are, it doesn't change you. And everyone, humans deep down, we're all just a bunch of disgusting, degenerate primates, right? If you give people a platform to be able to, let's just say, act upon said degeneracy or depravity, you're gonna see degeneracy and depravity. What do you expect? Give people a yacht, give them all sorts of money, surrounded by a bunch of people who they're all attracted to? Like, what are you gonna, give them access to drugs? Let them do anything, whenever, wherever, go wherever? It's like, what do you think is gonna happen? We humans aren't animals. I like to tell myself stuff so I can feel a certain way about humans. Even though when I look out into the fucking world, I can see all these disgusting, primitive, archaic bullshit playing out. Just endless loops, endless amount of suffering. But no, there's a reason for that. It's supposed to happen. That's just those people. Those people over here, they're just strong people. We're not just animals on the inside. That doesn't make me feel good in my animalistic tendencies. As an animal, I want to feel as if I'm not an animal. And if you call me an animal, then that just makes me feel like I'm an animal. And I don't want to, I'm not. We eat animals.
Want to see how humans get their food?
We've dominated this entire world, have molded it to our image, have systematically dominated multiple species so that we can produce their flesh simply for consumption. We're not, and we're better. We've achieved farther. I don't see things. Ugh. Yes, girl. Yath, girl. Hit it.
Followed up by
Bro. Dude, so just so cute, man. Fucking adorable. Go get him, Jada. You're in love. Isn't that just fucking beautiful? Just, oh.
Followed up by an interview on Howard Stern a few months later where she said,
Here's what's real. I'm not the kind of woman that believes that a man is not going to be attracted to other women. I'm just not that girl. It's just not realistic, right?
Right.
And just because your man is attracted to another woman does not mean he doesn't love you.
Right.
The fact that these things she's right. But it's crazy. You have to say that for people to know it? Oh, man. Again, life, at every point, people doubt everything. People make up everything. You're telling me you have to say this? Who asked you? Like, who wouldn't think that? I mean, you have to be very ignorant towards how humans work for you to be like, wait a minute, you're telling me a person that gets into a monogamous traditional relationship is attracted to people? That's why they got into it, but they're not specifically just one person. It's like, who are you talking to? Are you talking to elementary schoolers?
See, there was this thing called the Cold War, and in order to beat the Russians, we kind of faked that. That never happened. See how there's no windows on the side? And see underneath where there's like a pod thing? What's that, right? Take a look at this wreckage. See how there's no plane parts on the ground there? What does that look like?
A missile.
No, that's Tor. I know you're talking because I guarantee there are people who are that fucking stupid and gullible. You have to be an idiot to think that. Well, he's unfaithful, but we're not animals. We're not primates that just do stuff for emotion. There's a reason why people do things. We're coordinated. It's funny. Next time somebody asks, like, "What the hell are you doing?" It's like, what do you need to know? I'm coordinated. We're coordinated.
That's not what it means, and it doesn't mean he's gonna act on it.
Right, yes. Doesn't mean he's gonna act on it, but it's still very much there and it's real and it exists. And remember, we're humans, we're animals. Like, is that a thing? Do people legitimately think just because you label something a certain way that it means something? Oh, this is my girlfriend now, that means she loves me because that's what I called it. Like, most relationships fail. Most of them. Go through your own personal, say if you take any random person, talk to this dude, okay, how many girlfriends have you had in your entire goddamn motherfucking life? 5. Are you dating anyone right now? No, I'm not, no, I'm just single right now. So, okay, so that's 5 different times your attempt to create a relationship failed. Like, there's plenty of fish in the sea, yeah? And you caught them. It just, the taste, maybe it wasn't. Granted, the fish doesn't really like that because it's only one way, right? You go out to catch a thing that you can control. And let's be honest, people do treat it that way, both men and women. They both play their roles because, we're stupid. And they're going to act in accordance to that. So that analogy works in context to, like, picking up people, but not for this specific thing that I'm talking about. But you caught the fish, you had a taste, and you're like, eh. Or maybe the fish didn't like you or something, but you liked them initially for a little bit. It was good for a little. I like that. Monogamy works. That's why it's more, it's again, I'm not, I think if you get into any relationship, poly, monogamous, whatever in between, it's not gonna work. It's gonna fail before it works. Probably back to back. It's like an addict, right? In order to get to the light at the end of the tunnel, you kind of got to relapse multiple times, unless you can kind of just get it first off, which good luck. Remember, it's a substance that's changing your brain chemicals. So sexuality is very much exactly the same. In fact, I could probably pull this up. I can do that right now. I got a nice little tablet here. Is love like, not kike, like a drug? Yep. Love can mimic addiction. You may have heard that being love and feel like an addiction. Sentiment is used explaining initial attraction for we often feel. Love produces many of the same changes in our brain that certain substances do. It's an ingrained opiate. You have to be careful, but nobody's careful because people are stupid, right? Especially when it comes to something like this. Like, that's a foundational aspect to most people's lives. Most people's lives, they define themselves around that drug, but they don't know what it is. They don't know how to handle it. They don't know how to react accordingly to it. They haven't defined it appropriately. They just inherited the other people's haphazard ideas on how to consume the drug of sexuality, and then they just haphazardly consume it. Or consume it in a haphazardly procedural way that results in turmoil and suffering. Yet weed's unethical. Liquor is sometimes unethical, depending on what time and place you live at. I mean, that's kind of the case with any type of substance. Based on the laws, whoever, wherever, created, whenever, that determines the way we view this stuff. So I guess it's just so happened to be right now that we live in a society where the dominating rhetoric towards this type of thing is monogamous bullshit, right? Yeah, and what good is that doing, huh? Just think about how many times your relationships have failed, if any. If you know. Now, don't feel bad if any part. Don't feel bad if. Come on, people who haven't really gotten into this type of stuff, like you dodge. Sure, you miss out on understanding a lot of emotions that I feel like is mandatory to go through. Kind of like understanding grief and death and all those things. You got to know these things. But I imagine there's a threshold. You take a drug. Oh wow. Take a drug, oh wow, oh, you see different versions of it, you consume different versions of it at different times. How susceptible you are to its effects is determined by a lot of random crap that isn't even necessarily in your control. Like say if you get into a committed relationship young, that's going to be what you develop alongside, and that's what you see as normal, and that's the way that you're going to conduct it, and you're almost going to stick to that because you think you're supposed to. You got this imperative, this biological imperative. So in a way, it's like, see if you didn't have access to that, mainly to dudes, right? Then it's like, on one hand, you missed out on a lot of important experience that you do need to capitalize on eventually, so you can understand that facet of your life. But on the other hand, it's like, the cost of what could have been, you kind of dodged that. Like imagine, all sorts of people get taken advantage of, manipulated. It's like, imagine having run into the wrong person at the wrong time who did the wrong things that have left such an impact that it affects your conduct for the rest of your life. It's like having a bad trip on shrooms, right? You could be responsible, you could go at it through a healthy manner, you could have control, and it could still go wrong. Just because you saw something, just because you thought of something, just because you felt something random. Now that's excluding all the factors that could further make it have a higher chance of going wrong, which is normally the case, right? We're talking about total Zen guy. I mean, if you go to the Zen people, they just don't even do any of this crap. Like, you know, I can't indulge in my earthly temptations. I mean, I guess I can understand that, right? Especially given the cost. But then again, what's the point of life otherwise? Isn't it to go through these peaks and valleys, like to just suffer immensely and then to just feel really good and then suffer? I mean, that's what you're choosing if you get into something like this, an entanglement. Like, it's also kind of just dumb, like how people want to treat it so seriously. Yeah, come on, it's so obvious. Look at, he's very tall, he's very attractive, he's somewhat well known, as in he knows is her son. He does art, he's in shape, he's fit, got good, like, come on, people, you fucking animals. Obviously. Like, you can't just do it and be honest about it. You have to say it's other stuff, because you're weak. If you do that, you're dumb, you're weak, you're afraid of all this, I'm afraid of the way other people view me. Oh no. Those same people who told you to live your life a certain way, and now they're all suffering and failing and flailing around like a bunch of disgusting primates. Oh no, you're not gonna get their approval? Dang it. Shit. Now what am I gonna do? How am I gonna live my life other than just make the decisions I want to and live the life I want to without having to be burdened by the disgusting animals I'm surrounded by who want to just hold me in accordance to what they want from me? And it's not even what they want from you, it's the idea. Like all the people, go back to Jada's dumbass parents and their grandparents. I want you to get married. Why? Just because I think that's what you think you're supposed to do. That's it. I like the idea of you doing that. Oh goddamn, I don't know what I'm insecure. What do I do? My entire life I've lived in accordance to what other people want from me. Shit, I guess I'll jump into a monogamous relationship. Oh, but I don't want this. Oh, but there's so many choices. Oh my god, I feel bad for me. It's terrible. Oh no. I have endless amounts of resources and I can do whatever I want and it's still not, I don't know what to do. Animals.
By this point, Jada had said enough to make everyone believe that they were in an open relationship, which would get even more complicated when Jada got into her infamous entanglement with August Alsina. But before we jump into that, let me just clarify a few things. It's important to understand that Will says they separated in 2011 after Jada's 40th birthday disaster, but Jada says they separated in 2016. That's a huge difference, and we don't really know why they say two different things.
I can't get past this. I know you're just doing the documentary stuff. It's just the style. It's the way you do it, but it's not important. None of this is important. Screw these people if they died, and it like whenever it really like people will be sad. The people who find them important, just like with anyone. But you think it'll matter more just because they're rich and famous and we know who they are? Screw these people. It's not important what happens to them, the things they do. It's not. So I guess it's vlog time.
Now in 2018, Jada and Will started sharing a lot of their life on social media. Will started posting vlogs on YouTube, and Jada started hosting a podcast/talk show on Facebook called Red Table Talk, alongside her mother and daughter. Jada gave her hundreds of thousands of viewers insight into her life and relationship, and it was around this time when people started to realize the Jada and Will love was mostly a facade. More specifically, in episodes 11 and 12, which featured Will, accumulated tens of millions of views.
What if they were honest? Like, they already get shat on from every angle. That's inevitable. If you don't do, right, wrong, better, worse, people are going to tell you, people are going to come out of nowhere and they're going to tell you things. Doesn't matter what you do and don't do. So what if they were just honest about it? Would our timeline be different?
I'm out here. Uh-oh, Richard.
Would this be the non-icon timeline? Would their children not exist? Would they have had this? I mean, it's a lot of just, you know, butterfly effect crap. You can make up anything with this, but can I sit here and say definitively that the suffering would have been less had they been honest about it? Damn. Remember, because just because the truth is there, like, the truth existing has no, like, bearing on itself. It sort of just is. So things are not necessarily going to accommodate that. Feelings aren't going to accommodate that. They could have still been, yeah, probably. Because tangibly speaking, if you're honest about it, and you're actually, like, legitimate, that gives you a better gauge of traversing these things. If you just sit down, contemplate, quantify, think of a way of combating, of building the procedure of attack. Apply this to anything. We're talking about romantic relationships or entanglements.
I think you need to say clearly what happened. I f***ed August. Yeah, but I need to know specifically everything that happened. Like, y'all f***ing, how did that happen? Well, his dick got into an entanglement with my pussy. That's what I said. Did you like his dick? Yes.
But, yes. They probably would have suffered considerably less. I don't think you would have gotten the Smith slap, which would have sucked in this time, because that's quite the meme, right?
Previously on Avatar.
Can I sit here and say definitively that the suffering would have been less had they been honest about it?
And then I got into an entanglement with August. Wow.
Yeah, because that would have changed their behavior, that would have changed the way that they interact, that would have changed the way that they conduct themselves. And through doing that, through that quantification, you would have had a better way of traversing these things. Now, granted, suffering's inevitable, no matter which way you take, but in life, it's a choice of better or worse, not right or wrong. You do this decision, whether or not the result is either positive or negative, you try to control for the extent of that positivity or negativity. That's where the individual input comes. That's where the mild trajectory is derived from in life, right? Because I say life's just never-ending sequence of arbitrary happenstance where you're reacting. But the reaction is your trajectory, is your mild input into this chaotic existence. So I guess what you can take away from this is that you don't have to do anything in a particular sequence. You just be honest about it, and you try and you think about it, and you just be emotionally intelligent. Think about the potential impending suffering. Think about the stuff that could play out. Think about how you're going to go about interacting with this part of your life. And as you're doing such, you gauge and you change things in accordance to this thing, right? Oh, it's a little bit too heavy. Let me pull back. Oh, I don't want enough. I want a little bit more. Okay, let me indulge a little bit more, but let me have a specific extent onto how much I can test this level. It's like doing drugs. Like if you control, say if like you're doing, I'm gonna go shrooms again. Hopefully I don't get just by talking about it. All right, let's talk about a responsible, intelligent, healthy manner. You never did it before, first time dry experience. Okay, you have that inkling on your mind. Conformist shitty way that you inherit would be like, say you go to a dealer and he just like gives you a haphazard instruction list. Oh, just take this, just a handful, and then just like sit and like, I don't know, just go in public or something and just, do something, watch some movie or something like a horror movie. It's like, I don't know, maybe that works for him. I don't even say that works, but that's the way he does it. Who's to say whether or not it does or doesn't work? You should go about it in a way that you believe would reduce the amount of ramifications, right? So an intelligent way of going about that would be like, okay, let me measure out the specific amount. Let me do a very tiny bit. Let me research its specific properties. And while I'm doing such, sit in a room where I'm comfortable, warm, surrounded by people I trust, doing controlled amounts where I'm focusing specifically on this thing and how I treat it. And then I gauge how I feel, how I react as we go along, while also taking into account the potential ramifications I will encounter here or there. Because that is inevitable. It doesn't matter if you make better or worse decisions, you are going to suffer. Life is just a never-ending sequence of suffering.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer? Every night, I can feel my leg, and my arm, even my fingers.
And you got to try to find ways to reduce and limit and be able to expunge the suffer, like the emotional cost or the turmoil caused by said suffering. I guess I'm trying to say be responsible. Think about things. And don't just think about things through the way that you think. Just try to doubt, try to refine your means of approaching problem solving. Get good at making back-to-back decisions in rapid succession. And you'll notice progress just, man. Don't do this, I guess. Don't lie to yourselves and lie to the people around you and then do stuff based on those lies and then expect it not to just implode. These people tie themselves to this. This is like decades in the making.
Now in 2018, Jada and Will started sharing a lot of their life on social media. Will started posting vlogs on YouTube, and Jada started hosting a podcast/talk show on Facebook called Red Table Talk, alongside her mother and daughter. Jada gave her hundreds of thousands of viewers insight into her life and relationship, and it was around this time when people started to realize the Jada and Will love was mostly a facade. More specifically, in episodes 11 and 12, which featured Will, accumulated tens of millions of views. These episodes covered a lot of the information that you learned in this video.
No wonder why you did that table to, oh my god, 44 million views on Facebook for one episode. Oh my goodness. Again, no sympathy. You're doing this for a reason and you benefit from it. You are only now dealing with the fallout of those decisions that amounted to this thing that you have. Yes, the resources and the tangible wealth. But what comes along with that is all this other stuff. And you absolutely deserve that shit. Na 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 na.
Shimmy shimmy yeah, shimmy yeah. Drink. Fa la la la.
People were amazed at their open and honest communication, but they were talking about their relationship like they were divorced, and they were also not wearing wedding rings.
You don't have their wedding ring! Oh no, dude, drama. Drama. Vogue.
Finds the definition of husband and wife.
TMCT? TMZ?
It sounds to me you got precisely the reaction you wanted by wearing that hat.
No,
you knew there was going to be a reaction, but it also
you realize
opens
that you
up this
influenced
dialogue that you're not apologizing because everybody else, when they make a statement like that.
What does that even mean? I don't want to look that up, but I feel like I should just to know stuff. Okay, fine. What does meaning, TMZ meaning? The name TMZ stands for 30 Mile Zone, after the historic studio zone at the intersection of West Beverly Boulevard. So it's just a reflection of our sensationalism. It's an identity they built around this particular thing. Okay, I guess it reflects the thing that they do, right? Parasites parasiting off of parasites.
They even say that they aren't married anymore.
Oh, how dare you say that Will Smith and Jada Smith are parasites. It's like, they aren't just here to try to siphon money and live lives the way that they want to and do whatever they want, right? But that's not a parasite. They earned it, right? Because if you make money, you earn it. Because you can't just make money as a result of other people putting you in a position, or make money by siphoning the value of someone's labor for them, or just living in a world where you're able to show up and act and star in movies and make tens of millions of dollars. That's pretty dystopian. I guess we're all technically parasites, right, in that context. I guess if we were to use that to probably quantify it, probably be like, in terms of the world, we're here to benefit ourselves at the expense of everyone else around us. Isn't that kind of what you consider to be a parasite, right? Someone who siphons for their own benefit, despite the ramifications said siphoning causes. Now, what's the ramifications of these guys siphoning there? I mean, in their case, they're not business people, they're just actors who are there to make money for business people. They're simply a prop, a cog. They aren't the harbinger, they aren't the creator. They're simply a symptom of the creation, of this machine that acquires money. Parasite in terms of trying to get your attention, right? Displaying all their the point is for them to try to get their name out, is because given their attitude, given the type of transparency they have, because there's ways you can be transparent, but there's also ways you can be extra transparent, and what we're seeing is that the extra is the extra degree of it, the further degree of it. But yes, let's see this next image. 20. Yeah, siphoning your, definitely that analogy, metaphor, I don't know. It's a good reflection, or it's a good quantification of such, because I mean, just look at these videos, right? 50 million views. They're trying to siphon your attention from you by sharing these ugly, vulgar, I won't say ugly. Yes, it's ugly. It's very ugly, but like, it's inside all of us. They're just showing it to us. This happens with all sorts, and I'd argue it's worse with other people. Also, I've seen way worse than this, dude. This is just like two people who are normal, to be honest. I don't see them as, like, they're not exclusively messed up. They don't have serious, severe emotional problems. They're just normal people who, which normal is not really necessarily mean good when you apply it to humans, right? Oh, that's normal. That's not, that just means he does the same thing everyone else does. And this is normal. The mindless nature, primitive crap that people do. That is normal.
It was another episode where Will and Jada...
But we see theirs, and we've had prior context to who these people are, so we view it a certain way, and we have some level of interest. And it is interesting. I mean, I'm here talking about it.
They claim they are life partners and have redefined the definition of husband and wife to fit their unique union. June 21st, 2020 was another episode where Will and Jada sat down and did another extremely deep dive into their marriage. They laughed, cried, and seemed like the most normal version of themselves. And if you're confused, feeling, are they married, are they separated, are they divorced?
You should be. They're actors. And they seem normal. They're actors. They get paid to... That's what I've said before. Audiences are malleable, and I am 100% right. People are gullible and dumb. Give them something and they'll consume it. Tell them to consume it and they'll consume it. Be in a position where you are the giver of the consumption and they will consume what you produce.
I am your redeemer. It is by my hand you will rise from the ashes.
That's literally how everyone else felt. But just 8 days after Will and Jada's beautiful one-on-one discussion, August Alsina shared news about his relationship with Jada that would shock the world.
Beautiful. Just funny the way the adjective. Also, what the? Look at his goddamn chin. Did someone take a ruler and just? That's like So well defined. It's like, it looks like a, hold it upside down. Shit. Alright, we'll turn the frame around. It almost looks like, I don't know if you've ever been walking through the forest. There's like a mound of dirt and there's kind of like grass at the top, but there's dirt, like almost like a mountain of dirt. And then they have you could just touch the top and it's kind of just like, can like take it off and eat it. Saying you don't eat dirt? That's weird. No, that's weird. This stuff's normal, but that's abnormal.
I actually sat down with Will and had a conversation. He gave me his blessing.
What? Hey, Mr. Smith. Can I have sex with your wife? Sorry, your partner? Wife? And Will Smith's just like...
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
I really want to, like, reference all of his stuff every time I roast him. That's weird, too. I've seen so many of his movies. I've seen Shark Tale. I've seen I Am Legend. I've seen I, Robot, like, years ago. I've seen Men in Black, 1 through 3. I've seen... Hold on. Hold up. We can do this now more accessibly. We have the resources. We've acquired the resources. Thank you for watching. Subscribe. If it makes it glow, that'd be really cool. Subscribe. That probably doesn't work. I've seen The Pursuit of Happiness, Bad Boys forever ago. Maybe I should pull this up as a... There's also been a lot of really bad movies. Hancock. Did I see Collateral Beauty? That was... If I did, it was incredibly bland, I think. I remember. I don't know. Oh, this one's my favorite. The best shape of my life. Hit that pose, Miffy Smiffy. Whiffy Smiffy.
And I totally gave myself to that relationship for years of my life. And I truly and really, really deeply loved and have a ton of love for her.
August admits that not only did he fall head over heels into deep love with Jada, but he even had a conversation with Will about it and received his approval. This led to people calling Will a CUCK, but others just looked at it as an open relationship.
Is that a slang word now? Is that a bad word, cuck? I don't know. This is something I've also noticed. A lot of people are very insecure about their masculinity. They tend to really hound in on, especially when they talk about open relationships. Like, I guess that to a lot of dudes, that's a very masculine focal point, right? The owning, right? Having this, like a woman, someone that's yours, exclusively yours, because they respect you as a man or something. It's always within the same circles, too. It's like, a cuck has a very specific definition. You like watching your partner, significant other, wife, having sex. Okay, they use it in the term of like, if you just anyone, the thought, that means you're a cuck. You have a wife and somebody else sleep with them, that makes you a cuck. It's like, you guys don't, there is a defined term for these things. That's the way these things need to be defined so that we can understand the world. Am I wrong? What? Cuckold originated in early 18th century. The abbreviation of cuckold, cuck, sense one of the noun. A weak or servile man, often used as contemptuous term for a man with moderate progressive political views. What? Is that the U.S. has its own definition of cuck. A weak or servile man, often used as a contemptuous term for a man with moderate progressive political... See, in the U.S. it's just used to describe liberals? What the hell is going on? 2, a man whose wife is sexually unfaithful, a cuckold. I thought it was a kink, a fetish, that it was the specific act of watching your wife get plowed, or your partner. Or I guess it specifically applies to men. Make a man a cuckold by having a sexual relationship with his wife, being sexually unfaithful to him. Huh, so I'm wrong. What? And this sucks being wrong about it, because I thought that was like an actual, like a biological phenomena. Holy crap. So they're actually using it, so these disgusting keyboard apes are actually using the term correctly. I legitimately thought it was the actual act itself, rather than just, so if your wife cheats on you, you're a cuck. Damn, we're learning new shit every day, huh? Anyone who's ever been cheated on, you're a goddamn cuckold. According to Google, the English dictionary version, verb cuck, third person version, cucks, past tense, cucked, past participle, cucked, gerund or present participle, cucking.
Well, I'm not a gamer, so maybe they'll respect me.
That just makes you a beta cuck. That's the difference between you and I, Silver the Hedgehog. I'm a alpha gamer.
I really hope that's not considered a profanity. Do I have the blur? I don't. That's stupid. I got completely thrown off. So he is using it correctly. I can't believe 2020, the year will be Will Smith will be a cuck for the whole. He's right. This loser. So through that, it's just not fair. So if your wife cheats on you, you're a cuckold. At least for the duration of which, before you break up with them? I like my term better. Mine's more like medical. God. We're pausing here. What the fuck? Back at it again with the Smith bitch slapping, pimping, rapping, hip snapping, toe slapping, somebody once told me, crapping, rapping.
All that for a drop of blood.
What an intro, all right? I was gonna say, it's Jada Pinkett Slit because of the connotations, and Will Blacksmith because he be forging some pristine pimp slaps.
Will Smith, blacksmith. Will Smith as a blacksmith. Will Smith as a blacksmith with Hephaestus as the Greek blacksmith. Hephaestus the blacksmith with Will Smith the apprentice it. In a mosh pit. Chris Rock with no chill Will Smith. Will Smith with no chill Will Smith with Hephaestus the Greek blacksmith with Will Smith the apprentice it in the pocket of Jada Pinkett Smith.
That's content, right? That's content. Alrighty. For this episode and possibly other ones, this is going closed. We're locking ourselves into the containment chamber and unleashing the smithing onto our delicate mental state. Let's see how quickly it deteriorates and how quickly we succumb to the psychosis, to the Smithosis. So we left off here, I think, somewhere. Not sure where we left off. Something or other. I know we only got 10 minutes left, which is great, but that means jack shit, motherfucker. This is probably gonna run for like 45 minutes. Because I just ramble. I just say things. I just have things on my brains. Oh God. Let's get that out of frame. That squatting residuals. How's it going, bros? It's me, PewDiePie.
What a fucking
nipples!
It was something that I said in the heat of the moment. I said the worst word I could possibly think of, and it just sort of slipped out. I'm not gonna make any excuses to why it did, because there are no excuses for it. I'm disappointed in myself, because it seems like
I'm Jaden. Welcome back to more of this. Now it's on. I have no idea what part this is, right? I record like hour-long sessions, and that single-handedly, after, I guess, reshaping my content strategy, a single hour-long recording is probably like 4 videos worth. So we're going through, we're taking our time. We're trying to understand the nuance to the smithings as she's getting smithed by him. The goggles make me think of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I mean, it also just makes me think of like a mad scientist from like the Frankenstein era, but fashion, right? And also, I just noticed that, Jesus, I don't know, you can't see it right here. Picture or screenshot. That's an A. That's an A on it that he got. I don't know if he got tattooed on his neck. That must have hurt, man. It's below your Adam's apple, maybe, and your Adam's apple's definitely considerably protruding. But I'm presuming that A is for August. We'll resume. Let's get right into it.
The discourse online about it made Jada and Will sit down on her Red Table Talk show 3 weeks after August broke the news.
Excuse me, Will Smith. I'm a big fan. I've watched your movies for years. I love you. I think you're really talented. I think you're really great. So, I've been having sex with your wife, and can I have sex with your wife with your permission? They say it's easier to ask for forgiveness than to ask for permission. So now I'm asking for both your forgiveness and your permission. And Will Smith just goes, "Yeah, okay." And then, of course, the internet jumps in on him. Who cares? Yeah, that's always white noise. You're always gonna... Anyone who's well-known, even if you're not well-known, just even the people within your most immediate social circles, or singular or plural, depending on how accessible someone is when it comes to socializing. If it comes to this kind of transcends socializing. All that stuff is afforded to you simply from the things that you've acquired. Your success. So everyone is now talking about this. And of course, they're gonna... So you gotta just... If you're in that position, I'd say if you're in any position, you just gotta know how to deal with that. People are gonna, like, we're disgusting animals, right? We see something, oh! And then we fucking smear fucking fecal matter everywhere, right? Because that's how we mark our territory. That's how we make ourselves feel important. That's a necessity to the human condition. It's fecal smearing, right? Just... That's mine. I left that there. It's kind of like carving your name in a tree at like a campground or something. Or like, oh, will be forever. Why not just finger paint with your fecal matter? Just Will and Jada. Oh, and August. Big heart. So, just expect that. Like, don't just be... I caught it last time. I put my... This is a different tablet, so... This was the good one, even though it's Apple. And I said don't buy their shit. But it's serving the purpose of what I need it for. When it comes to something a little bit higher gear, like I need like an actual camera, not a goddamn phone. Because the audio's crap and the video doesn't match this. Doesn't match what I need it to match. Alright.
Where they attempted to address all the rumors, but it just got worse. Jada sits down in front of Will and tells her all about her friendship with August. August was a 23-year-old up-and-coming R&B singer from New Orleans, creating straight-up baby-making bangers.
Did she sit... I mean, you played the Red Table Talk there. Did she sit down in a private, exclusive scenario and talk to him about it? Or did she air her dirty laundry out for everyone to see? So that... I mean, granted, that's an excellent career move. As they say... A lot of people, you probably heard them in it. Any publicity, like bad publicity is still good publicity, whatever. That's kind of true. For the most part, yes, that is true. If attention is currency, people are listening to you and people are tuning in to hear you, you can monetize that. And that's exactly what, well, what is that? Is that from a show?
Man, I stay taking shots. Man, your girl be on my job. Maybe cause I'm
The timing of this is pretty good. I like that. Always giving, huh? What about you, Will? What about your needs? It's not all about Jada. I mean, Jada, everyone thinks it's about Jada. Jada thinks it's about Jada. But Will, you're the guy. You're the, as in not the male, you're the person who almost created all this stuff for these people. So I don't know, it's like you're in a position of power over these people, and you got whiplashed.
I don't know.
Sure you do.
The tempo?
Were you rushing or were you dragging?
I don't know.
So, how about you just be like, be honest with yourself. I mean, if you want to commit a monogamy phase, then find somebody who's like, maybe you should learn how to vet. Give it more time, give it more years, instead of just feeling your poopy ass goddamn feelings, and then mindlessly following through with trying to manifest that. This idea, this poorly formed idea of what you want to believe is what's right for you, right? Going back to when he said, I read a book, I'm scientific, I read a book and it said kings have wives and the kings are always, it's like, no. I mean, that's what you think is there, right? And if you want to do that, go for it. But try to like define it in a way that's not stupid. And try to manifest that reality, what you picture in your head, in a way that's also just not stupid. Stop being an idiot. Especially you. God damn it. You got no excuse for where you are, for what you have, for who knows you, for the things that you can do. You can do anything. Dude, discard this bitch. Get rid of her. Like, you already have, like, a child with another person. I don't think that's really what's stopping you. You've already failed. Yeah, oh, it's my image. Too late. And also, like, if you focus so heavily on trying to maintain that, you're gonna crumble. Like, just do your thing, be honest about it, be smart, and don't be a loser. And people are gonna have their opinions. It doesn't matter what you do and don't do. People are gonna shit on you. It doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. It doesn't matter if you make better or worse decisions. People are going to tell you that you're dumb, because humans are mindless, disgusting animals. You can't be surprised when these disgusting like primates. God, I have so much content. And reasonably so, it's justified. We're evil, we're disgusting. But you need to expect it. If you're an intelligent person, like, and you've gone through it, you should build a gauge of what that thing is so that you can accordingly react to it, instead of just, whoa, stupid bullshit, whoa, stupid bullshit, I'm not expecting any of this. You need to. Like, what else is there? You know how people, most people don't know how people work, despite operating around people their entire lives. That's why I'd say it's like, just because you've gone through something doesn't mean you know more or what it's like to have gone through that experience. It's not just the experience, but it's also what you do with it. It's like, just because you get older doesn't mean you know more. It doesn't mean you know more experience, doesn't mean you're smarter. It depends on how you use that time. And from what we've seen, what I've seen, what I always see is most people are blithering fools. They just fumble around, haphazardly reacting to crap with stuff that other people told them their entire fucking lives. And they don't know how to do better, they don't know how to improve themselves, they're just a bunch of mindless apes. There's a perfect example. Because you've gone through something doesn't mean you know what it's like. You need to know what you're talking about. You need to know what you're thinking about. You need to quantify things instead of just being a blithering idiot. Oh yeah, I've lived the life, I've been through it, I know it's okay. So what is that afforded you? Getting cucked? Failing in your personal relationships? Being super insecure and trying to manually morph the opinions of... And now granted, like I just said before, you can do that. The audience's perspective of an individual in the limelight is malleable. You can always just change that around. But let's just say he had the wrong intentions when it came to that. It didn't seem like he was trying to come at it from a malicious purview, right? To change people's perspective in a way that could really benefit you monetarily. I mean, you can never really know that. Like, the Red Table Talk, him exposing all this stuff about their personal crap, that could be a ploy. That could all be for the sake of maintaining their influence within the zeitgeist, right? The culture. But I don't know. To me, it doesn't come off like that. I think to me, it's like he was just like trying to be transparent and he's being reminded by the world that really... It doesn't matter in the eyes of others, right? You're being transparent to the people around you, the people who are listening, but you're not being transparent with yourself and the people who you find important. It's like your life has been a show your entire life, all for other people's convenience. That's kind of what it's like. Damn. I'm trying to understand. I still don't give a shit. Screw you, dude. Like, when I have the things that you have, come on. I'm not gonna be like, this type of crap. This is stupid. It's clearly just thoughtless behavior that you've inherited. I did this because I thought I was supposed to. Oh, I don't understand. I'm trying to understand as I go along. Oh, let me define my life in this way that I believe I need to because of crap that other people told me. No. And I don't think the kids are suffering. They're fine. Again, there's the trying to squeeze the empathy. I mean, I'm not blaming you. Patrick, it's tabloid stuff. It's sensationalism. You're trying to get views and all that stuff. But They don't suffer. Everyone suffers, but the extent of which these people suffer, nothing in comparison to like a majority of everyone else. So, but we're here listening to what's happened to these guys. Yeah, it's dystopian. Guys, like humans are fucking terrible. Like, it's fine. You don't have to agree. Like, tell yourself that people are okay, and then get backhanded by reality every 10 goddamn seconds, right? And you want to know what's great about that dumbass mindset? Oh, whoa, I'm sad and I feel a lot of suffering. Damn, let me just continue. Oh, whoa, oh man, that really hurt. I need to. Oh. That was much harder, damn. Alright, time to just move forward without improving myself. Life will inevitably backhand you over and over again with its indifference, because it does not give a shit. We do not matter, okay? And what do you think a product of us not mattering is? Humans being mindless, disgusting animals. Like, we live in an intrinsically callous environment with the absolute worst of the species, the worst of them. The ones that can manifest the absolute monstrous, the most dominant traits are the ones that win. Those are the ones that prosper. Humans have not simply survived. We have not simply prospered. We've dominated. Humans own everything. We've changed and morphed the world to remind us of our own perceived significance. We systematically like decimate entire species and produce their flesh simply for our convenient consumption. Like, humans haven't just won. I don't know, like, what's past winning? Like, exponentially succeeded? In a system, in a callously harsh and different environment, a species that is able to not excessively, clearly there's all those sorts of, but persevere in a system like that will manifest the absolute worst of that system. Like, humans needed to be the absolute worst, and it's because of our innate traits that we possess that granted us our leg up over everything else. It's what allowed us to take control of the environment and all these other species around us. It's because of how horrible we are. That is why we are where we are. If you turn around, human history is spattered with blood and guts and viscera and destruction and evil. And if you look forward, it's a clean hallway that once we pass through, we turn around, it's grotesque, mindless, disgusting viscera when you turn around. So it makes sense why this stuff happens. Humans are evil. And we're brought into an existence where we don't understand what's going on, and we're just reacting to stuff, and we feel things, almost feel the things that other people give us in a way. We're just living the lives that's been defined for us. And, like, that's humanity's attempt to try to, like, legitimize reality. To make it seem as if, like, everything is where it should be. We're doing the things we should be doing. I could have explained the previous. I will rephrase that in one of these upcoming videos, that contention, right? The humans persevering. In order for humans to persevere in an intrinsically callous environment, we need to possess the absolute most heinous attributes that environment endows upon us in order to get past it. It's like already 16 minutes again. I've only played like 15. Just rambling. But no, it's kind of like my own personal purview towards this thing. Breakdown after breakdown has led me to reluctantly embrace how evil things are and how just disgusting and monstrous our species is. Life is bad. Humans are worse. Humans make life even worse, but we don't have to. I also believe that given the extent of depravity that humans are capable of, we're also capable of just as considerable of an extent of decency, compassion, empathy. Like, we can look at all this crazy crap we can build. We can go to the moon, but we can't stop raping and murdering. So, oh no, those are those people. Those are they're different people. You can break them into sects, as if they're not all human.
I'm only human after all. I'm only human after all. Don't put the blame on me.
At the end of the day, we all want the same thing. Compassion, understanding, love. Yet how we define those things is just crap we pull out of our ass, because it's just stuff we make up. The stuff we feel, it's all stuff that we make up. It's not supposed to. Our feelings coming into existence has no bearing on existence itself. It's simply a product. We are now here and we feel and we do things and that's it. Those things don't mean anything. There's no underlying meaning behind the way or why anything happens. Things just, something happens that causes another thing to happen, that causes another thing to happen, and that's just an endless loop. That's life. None of it matters. Damn. But anyways, I feel like I've embraced a little bit. I can't think anyone can really embrace how evil and shitty humans are, but you can try to work towards gradually accepting and accommodating so that that evil, that pervasive force of evil doesn't, you know.
In life, there's roadblocks. Don't let nothing stop you, because we ain't stopping.
Seep itself, well, that's not the right, because you kind of need to let evil seep in order to get ahead of other people. You need to be, like, selfish. You need to, like, think about yourself. Now, there's not, I need to contextualize that. You can't help everyone. You can't, it's good to help, but unless you're in a position of which you're already, like, farther ahead of everyone else, you're in a position of excessive power and influence. It's like, you're going to be taking considerably more out of yourself in order to help even less amount of people. Someone like Mr. Beast, right? Somebody going into Africa and installing all sorts of new orphanages and schools and fresh water wells, and it's like...
I recreated every single... This is one of the dirtiest... This is the most expensive... This is the largest slice of pizza.
Imagine if he didn't have all that influence and money. He wouldn't be able to help nearly that extent of people. The everyday person equivalent is going to like a soup kitchen or trying to move food from one place to the other or doing charity work, right? But even still, there's kind of a controlled amount of people that you can really benefit with that. If you really want to help people, you got to think of yourself first. It really sucks, man. I know. But back to the kids suffering with Will and Jada Smith.
August was a 23-year-old up-and-coming R&B singer from New Orleans creating straight-up baby-making bangers. He had been suffering from a severe autoimmune disease that attacked his liver. The illness led to multiple incidents, including a collapse on stage in 2014, which ended up in a 3-day coma. In 2015, he battled a degenerative eye disease that nearly caused him to go blind. When he met the Smith family, through befriending Jaden, August was at a very low point in his life. Jada seemingly took her friend's son under her wing with the intention of helping him heal, but it progressed into a full-blown relationship. They also mentioned that August came into their life when Jada and Will were broken up.
Damn, I can relate to that. I feel bad for you, August. Like that's, I mean, you know, all those physical abnormalities, you had some degree of influence and such, but if we're looking specifically at the dynamic between him and Jada, right, the power dynamic, yeah, worthy of a little bit more sympathy. Because this guy was on the receiving end. He was the one that was given all these ideas and these feelings. They just, I don't know what happened. I mean, she probably just used him and then ditched him. I guarantee you that's what happened. Like, she's incredibly emotionally inept. I don't know, let's see.
I really felt like we could be over.
We were over.
And then what did you do, Jada? I think you need to say clearly what happened.
As far as what?
You and I.
Dad!
Yeah, man.
You're it!
Don't tell me what I need. I already see therapy. You're not my therapist.
I think you need to say clearly what happened.
As far as what?
You and I decided we were going to take our space, and what happened?
Yeah, and then I got into an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement, an entanglement, an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement, an entanglement, an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August,
An entanglement, an entanglement,
an entanglement with August. That's what I said.
an entanglement.
Yes.
It's so easy for you to laugh like that, Jada. You shut your mouth. Like, he's dealing with the brunt of your dishonesty. I mean, granted, he threw away his actual committed relationship for the sake of his stupid-ass impulsive emotions. But you reciprocated that by getting into a monogamous relationship when that's not what you wanted, with someone you weren't even sure that you wanted that with. And now he suffers the most. Will Smith, he suffers the most at everyone. I mean, granted, screw them all, right? But if you're trying to gauge, if you're trying to look at the scenario, this guy got cucked.
Okay, hold on, wait. I'm not okay with it.
Ew, you licked it. She just licked his face.
I'm not okay with it.
You're getting cut.
He's the one that probably faces the most amount of pain when it comes to this. Especially when you look at his ideals, his values. But then again, he shot himself in the foot. That's his fault. Especially someone in his position. Dude, just go get another one. Discard her. Find somebody else who's better. And there's all sorts of people who are better. There are billions of people out there, and you can choose virtually any of them. Most of them. It already isn't about who you are. And you're seeing that right here. It's just emotion. That's it. Love is just has nothing to do with anything. You just find someone, that person makes you feel intense emotions, that's the thing that people follow. Nothing to do with this. I'm going to say that over because it is entirely true. Humans are animals. We are animals. We don't know what the hell's going on. We just feel stuff and do things. That's it.
Yes.
A relationship.
Yes, it was a relationship.
Based on Will's tone and his demand for Jada to admit it was a relationship, it seemed like he was still upset even though this had happened more than 4 years ago.
Yeah. Yep. That's the great thing about exclusivity in a relationship. It hurts profoundly. And that reverberates almost arguably infinitely. Or for the rest of your life. The stupidest shit. I've heard some of the dumbest shit from people that I've been really fond of that would say stuff like this. Oh, the first person who made me feel a certain way at a certain time in my life, when I was the youngest and most vulnerable, that was the one. It's like, or maybe you're just dumb. Maybe you don't know how to quantify your feelings effectively in a manner that's actually like intelligent and mature. So that's on you. Whatever that person put you through, in this specific case, this person put that person through a lot, took advantage of them, and they still, to this day, tell themselves that was the one. It's just delusion. And in this person's case, mental illness. But that person's more worthy of pity than this fucker, right? But at the end of the day, screw him.
Because I wasn't sure I was ever going to speak to you again.
I know.
Yeah, like the fact that I'm speaking to you again is a miracle.
I would agree.
Dude, come on. You can acknowledge it. Ditch this bitch.
Yeah, and then I got into an entanglement with... Yeah, and then I got into an entanglement with August. That's what I said.
You're like, I don't know why the fuck I'm still talking to you. But here you are, not just talking to her, on a goddamn platform, like a televised platform. Is this your obsession with your career bleeding through your actions? Is this you wanting to have your feelings mean something? Is that what, like, you're trying to almost, like, hold on to something? I'm sorry, but screw you? I'm sorry, comma, but screw you. That doesn't work. I'm sorry by itself, right? I'm sorry that that's the thing that this person had to deal with. But also, screw you. How's that? Not screw you because of the thing you feel. I can acknowledge how you feel something, but regardless of that, screw you. That's what I meant. Don't get me wrong.
But it ain't for the weak at heart.
There seemed to be a little bit more pain in Will's voice. Will's obvious distress became a huge meme online.
You just call him Smith because he lost the will. The internet is a vortex of memes and suffering.
Because again, nobody knew the long history of their complicated life partnership. All they thought was Will Smith's wife just got him on a podcast to tell him how much she loved another man. But there's a really interesting part of this interview that most people missed.
I'm gonna get you back first, and then...
You gonna get me back. I think you got me back. I think we're good on that, okay?
Okay, that's probably true.
Probably not. I'm not just using my own personal experience, but like, this person, if the person who likes the other person more is the person who has the less power in that dynamic. There is no way that you can hurt Jada even nearly as much as she hurt you, given that you care much more about her and that's not reciprocal. Clearly.
The fact that I'm speaking to you again is a miracle.
I would agree.
No, but
that even saying that sucks, man. But it's entirely true. I mean, what you could even, like, I don't know, man. The only thing I can maybe think of is just ditching her. as in that being the thing that would potentially be able to hurt her in some way. Like, you would need to have a profound impact on this, because you were the one that almost created this person's life for them in many ways. You just, well, if you were smarter, you took that away sooner. They would be able to live longer without that and have that regret sort of compound, you'd think? I don't know. I mean, I guess that depends on the individual, how they react to that. Jada would seem like someone who'd, like, it would probably hurt. Long-lasting reverberations. There's some people where it's like, they don't really... I'm not one of them. I gotta be the guy that reminds the other person that they fucked up. Through my own exponential success and my own callous indifference towards them. Because that's the way that we're comparing and contrasting. In this case, that's the way that this guy was made to feel. He just was worthless. He didn't matter to this person. He didn't matter as much to this person that he really wanted to matter to. That he made an agreement that he did matter to them. And specifically in this particular way to each other. And only each other. Well, according to him, he thought, and she thought. He thought, she thought. God damn it. What a time we live in.
Be gone, fuck!
But there's a really interesting part of this interview that most people missed.
I'm gonna get you back first, and then...
You gonna get me back? I think you got me back. I think we're good on that, okay?
Okay, that's probably true.
Will jokingly said he is gonna get her back, but then immediately admits that he probably had this coming after all these years of Jada putting up with him. What he did not realize is that he would not stop being an embarrassment after this moment. It was only going to get worse. On March 27th, 2022, Will and Jada attended the 2022 Oscars together. That night, Will was nominated for Best Actor for his portrayal of Richard Williams in the biographical sports drama King Richard. However, things took a strange turn after Chris Rock made a joke about Jada, who has spoken openly about having alopecia, a hair loss condition.
I disclosed this information publicly. How dare you acknowledge it? Granted, I mean, it'll come out eventually. Something like that. But, shut up. Of course. You can just make up anything. It's just fun. I'm just pointing out how dumb, even just his reaction to it. You idiots talked about it. And you want other people to know about it. Because you broadcast your entire every nuance of your stupid-ass private lives to everyone. Not that I'm complaining about that. I'm just... That's the most immediate emotion that this evokes, right? Your guys' stupidity. I need to go, man. I still got like 8 minutes.
Chris compared Jada to Lieutenant Jordan O'Neill, the star of G.I. Jane, notorious for her short buzz-cut hairstyle. Will initially laughed, but then made it clear he didn't appreciate the joke as he stormed on stage and smacked Chris before telling him to keep my wife's name out of his mouth. From the silence of the audience and the look on Chris's face, it seems like the reaction was 100% unscripted. Despite this encounter, Chris didn't press charges.
Yeah, because Chris is kind of a bitch. I hate that. So you don't stand up for yourself? Like, that's the only way you can stand up. Speaking about him at a comedy, like making fun about it, that's not really standing up for yourself. That's like you going to your friends and complaining about your ex. Like, what you should have done? Granted, you should know MMA, so nobody ever steps to you like that, and if they do, you can just submit them in like 10 seconds. Especially someone like that. I mean, he has boxing experience. What's he gonna do when he gets flipped on his head mounted? Anyway, Chris Rock... Him, in his situation, his only retaliatory measures, or means of being able to retaliate, would be pressing charges. And he absolutely fucking should have. Absolutely. Are you kidding? Nah. I don't want to do that. People think I'm a bitch. It's like, yeah, you got bitch slapped, and now you're not standing up for yourself. That's what makes you look like a bitch. Press charges, get money out of them, like make it a show, make it so that people know that that's not okay. But you didn't. Instead, you just waited a year so you can make fun of them in your stand-up like a year later. Like, that's weak, dude.
They asked Chris, do you want to file charges? And Chris apparently said no, he did not.
He doesn't want the hassle. I'd announced this morning that I was suing Will for $200 million. If you want to yell from the audience and disapprove or show a disapproval or say something on Twitter or whatever, you do not have the right to walk up on stage and smack somebody in the face because they said words.
Like, you gotta, when people throw shit, you gotta throw it right back. Depending on the context, but a scenario, depending on how much you can gain or lose, yada, there's always context. But in this instance, you insisted not to press charges against Will. And then what afterwards, right? Like, They're probably gonna go over in this documentary, but I'm somewhat informed about all these things because it's just interesting as people. Will Smith, he didn't apologize after the fact, and then he started hearing about your jokes, and then he was like, "Oh, not cool." Why? You let him go. You let him do his thing, and now he feels he's absolved of what he did, all because you were too weak to stand up for yourself. Do the right thing, man. If someone's being a piece of shit, they need to know that. Don't just make pathetic emotional excuses as to why, you can't do anything in retaliation. They're trying to make things worse for you so that they can benefit themselves. No, don't let that happen. With anything, with anyone.
This slap ignited the highest overall engagements on Twitter in history, and basically nobody was on Will's side.
Check this out.
I believe whatever he felt that he did, he had the right to do. I also felt there were 3 losers in one fight. He didn't know, being Chris Rock. He didn't want to do what he had to do, being Will Smith.
Why did you make me...
But there was a powerful moment for me to sit and watch one of the world's best emoters ever we've seen speak from the heart.
Keep my wife's name out your...
Are you there for him? Because I know he may need you tonight. He may need you, especially if he was he
Well, good, he should be. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of emotions. This is a long time, I think a long time coming for him. And it's a lot of emotion. It's probably all welling up in him right now.
I think there's something deeper sort of to be discussed, and I hope they both step up man to man and kind of figure it all out, which I'm sure they will.
What do you feel like? What's your reaction, and where should they go from here?
They should go home. They should go home and think about it. It was crazy, though. Shout out to Will.
To go up on stage and slap Chris Rock like that, he's lucky he didn't get his ass kicked, particularly after the event was over. If not by Chris Rock, to the fellas he had there with him. I mean, damn. Denzel and Bradley Cooper and Tyler Perry having to calm you down, your publicist having to run out and calm you down. I mean, damn, come on, bro. Come on, man.
And basically nobody was on Will's side. They pointed out he was initially laughing, then changed his demeanor once he saw Jada was upset. They used the entanglement situation to justify that Will is just Jada's puppet that does whatever she says.
That's not true. Will's his own puppet to his emotions. Jada's just the harbinger of those emotions. She's not the game director. What would be her role? Because she provides mild trajectory. She's not the one saying, hey, go slap that motherfucker. I mean, she liked it.
Here is an angle most people have not seen. Look at Jada's reaction.
Right, there's behind the scenes footage of her laughing, right? I could probably pull that up. And I could even probably pull up some other stuff. Maybe Jim Carrey talking about why he should have pressed charges, all that stuff. But yeah, she definitely liked that. It's just, and it's weird for people to point out, oh, he was laughing at first, as if that makes any difference. People are always looking for things to try to, single individual variables in a scenario to sort of, understand everything about it.
However, even Jada was confused by what Will did and said because she is not his wife.
Oh, two things. Lying bitch, thrown under the bus. God damn, she does not give a that's exactly what I meant, Will. She, you think you got her back? She doesn't care about you like that. Damn, man. And granted, her reaction when she laughed could have just been a nervous, kind of when Chris Rock was like, "Uh-oh, Richard." It's yeah, Richard. It could have, at that moment after he assaulted Chris Rock on stage, because she laughed, almost as if she appreciated it. But, not really appreciate it, but just oh, that's funny. That could have just been a nervous reaction. Because that reaction is antithetical to what you're saying right now. That's what I meant before. Don't trust headlines. Don't trust the things that people say. They're giving you an idea of what they want you to... Even if it's not even, intentional. okay, apply this into real life to your average everyday. If you were to go and talk to somebody about okay, you know somebody and you know somebody else. This person you know is a friend, this other person is some asshole, piece of shit. But this other person doesn't see that in other person. And then you go to this other person and you say, hey, this guy's a motherfucker. This person will probably be like, that's not my experience. That's not how it's worked for me.
Harvey Weinstein, Bob Weinstein, God bless him.
Harvey Weinstein, who believed in us and made this movie.
Harvey and Bob Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein. Thank you, Harvey Weinstein. Especially Harvey.
I want to thank Harvey and Bob Weinstein.
Thank Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey, who first took me on 20 years ago.
I would like to thank Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein, who had the guts, the courage, the commitment.
Especially Harvey Weinstein, a man of dedication and vision.
Harvey Weinstein. Well, listen, so...
Harvey and Bob Weinstein, you also break my heart with your uncensored passion.
Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey and Bob. And Harvey and Bob Weinstein.
To you, Harvey.
Harvey Weinstein.
The Harvey Weinstein. The Harvey Weinstein Company, okay?
Thank you, Harvey Weinstein, for putting your heart behind this film and shining the light on this. We really like to share this with you.
So that's not what so if this person's going to be telling other people about this other person that you were saying is an asshole, they're not going to be saying the same things you're saying. They're going to be saying their version of it. And they could mean it, because that's what they've been presented with. It's hard to know with her. I can't really say that because it's like she has an incentive to say that because it absolves her of any type of like culpability. But of course you would say that when confronted with this. So with this I can't really say it, but I think the other point I say stands. It's kind of like the people who like America, right? How I said before, you're either stupid, ignorant, or just a bad person, right? Because if you like this place, despite all how evil it is, it's like you only care about how you've been treated and the way that you perceive the world. Sure, you know, all these homeless people getting massacred, destroyed, it's, you know, most of the time these people tend to just make rationalization for them. But even so, it's like, even if not, if you just disregard, if you just don't give a shit and you only care about what happens to you, like that'll most likely just be your perspective. Or that'll be reflected in the things that you say about things. So, yeah. No, it's all screwed.
I had no idea that was none whatsoever. And I came as family. I actually didn't go to the Oscars as Will's wife.
What the fuck does that mean? How else are you part of their family? Are you a stepsister?
This is my sister. I put my sister on the stepsister.
Just play the porno theme. What else? What? See? Okay, so maybe that's starting to... There's probably more to it, but that's probably starting... She's definitely building a narrative. What the hell does... You're not his wife at the time, but you came there as his family? But where's the connection of how you're his family? You're not his children. You're not his biological children. You're his family because of that single connection. And then you stop being someone's family once... I'm pretty sure that's how it works once you get a divorce. Oh my god. Oh, damn. Definitely a narcissist. 100%. But that's a bit sociopathic right there as well. The way that you say it. Because we know, at least I know, you're full of shit. What the hell does that mean? Like, that first layer of absolving yourself was, oh, that's not what I wanted. That wasn't my intention. I
had no idea that was none whatsoever. And I came as family. I actually didn't go to the Oscars as Will's wife.
Okay, so your first level of absolving yourself was you didn't know that that's what they were gonna do. All right, and then you pushed it, and then your second layer, which you're adding on top of that, is you didn't come as his family. You're just giving us more stuff to sort of distance yourself from the thing that he did, almost in your stead. Gross. Because of how shitty this person is. Like, Will, you don't get any sympathy. You had severe emotional problems growing up, and you didn't acknowledge those in a healthy, intelligent fashion. You didn't seek therapy. You didn't try to self-improve in legitimate, progressive ways. You just doubled down on your impulsivity, and here we are. Some person that damaged you deeply, who really doesn't care as much about you as you care about them, who's now lying to make themselves feel good, or to make themselves look better, which in turn makes them feel good. Humans are fucking evil, man.
People, that's weird. But what was going on behind the scenes? Will and I had been like, we weren't living as husband and wife.
And you want, and if your reaction to me saying that is like, well, not everywhere. It's like, this is a rich and famous person. This is a person who was given a platform. This is the person who's received approval from society. We reward this person for doing shit like this. And you want to pull yourself away? We're all a collective. We're all part of this. We all contribute. We're here right now listening to it. It's not just that, it's everything around it. It's not just this person, it's the people around them that make us know about this person. Evil, not just this person, it's humans. But no, it's not, I like telling myself. It was like what it should be.
Hey, boy say he wanted to get his junk down juggler snack up at it and fuck with him not on C's.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. We're good, because I feel things. Because I benefit myself, and I want to tell myself that we're good. Because I don't know.
You want to see that alcohol burners when snacks, but no cuddle and snack uppins? Junk down snack uppins.
And I know for people that's weird. But what was going on behind the scenes? Will and I had been like, we weren't living as husband and wife since 2016. I was happy he asked me to go.
So therefore it had nothing to do with it. Therefore it was me. He wasn't doing that because of me.
It wasn't me.
Wait, I just heard you.
It wasn't me.
Since 2016. I was happy he asked me to go.
I hate the way she speaks. Who done it? Who fucking done it? It's like some mobster. Like I don't know, I didn't see him. I didn't see him drop a gun. You didn't put it in the sewer.
The slap was clearly pent-up anger from Will over the past 25 years. Jada never wanted marriage. Will wanted it, and everything went his way for the first 15 years.
And he had it, and he threw it away for someone who didn't want it. Because he felt something. Okay. We'll open this back up. See if them Scrogginis run in here. That'd be pretty funny.
He got her everything he thought she wanted. The house, the fame, the money, the kids. But Will still didn't feel like she loved him.
Because she doesn't. You're a thing that did a thing for her. Ugh.
But Will was not going to get divorced again, as he saw his first divorce as his life's biggest failure.
In my adult life.
Yeah.
Divorce was the ultimate failure for me.
Yeah.
I've been hurt a lot in my adult life.
Especially by the person you're talking to right now about this stuff. Hurt probably more so by them because you threw away. I mean, if you're saying it right here, biggest regret, biggest mistake was throwing away your actually working out committed relationship for somebody else because you felt stuff for them. Somebody who didn't even care as much about you as you cared about them. Fuck, dude. Now you can, is it easier? Is this easier? Just sitting here talking to the person who's done all these things and has not cared and has caused even more pain on top of the pain that you caused for yourself, which this is also caused by you, both of which. Is this easier? God damn.
But I don't think anything touches.
Rhetorical, it's not. What does the alternate timeline look like? Where Will was actually like sticking to his committed relation.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? that was a nice one. Okay.
We wouldn't have Icon. Damn it. No, this is the right timeline. That's how you know. What you call an icon living?
I've been sucking dick for a minute, and we deep up till he finish. I'm about to shit up on his dick. I am just a gay con living. Her son started a record label, Misfits, and they just did it.
Whoa.
The failure of getting divorced.
He became desperate to make this marriage work, even though Jada never wanted it. Then once the 40th birthday situation didn't work, where he attempted to win back Jada's love, he said, okay, I've tried everything and you still are not happy. We're done, go be happy. But once she did that with August, he didn't like that either. And it seems like since then, Will has just been coping with this life partnership confusing half-open marriage thing, as he goes on podcasts talking about how marriage is a spiritual journey, and writing in his memoir about how his ego destroyed them and Jada was just riding the Will train, which was fine until he got embarrassed in front of the whole world with the entanglement situation and reading everyone calling him a C-U-C-K. Maybe the slap was him trying to, yet again, win back her love, show Jada that he is her protector. No man is gonna talk about my wife like that.
It's good to protect people, but like, there needs to be a reason instead of just you feel stuff. It should be for what's right instead of just because oh, I've this person. If your stupid bitch girlfriend, you know, insults a bunch of dudes and then throws you into an entanglement.
As you can see, these fools want to start trouble. There are many of them, so the only way to survive is to keep on walking.
Are you done?
But, ladies and gentlemen, we have a complete fool that wants me dead.
Monko, come and deal with these fools.
Deal with who? Monko should deal with them. No, look at the fool. No, look at the fool. She is safe and I am about to die.
Where you can get a concussion because 5 dudes start.
What's that? What's that?
Cool bug facts.
One day you will have to answer for your actions, and God will not be so merciful.
I've seen so many videos like that, and I've heard so many instances where it's like, oh, we have this agreement, now I have to beat up your boyfriend, even though you were the one that's like being the aggressor. Perfect example. That's kind of exactly what that's like. If you've ever done something like that, like if you're ever in a situation, you know, somebody else drags you into an entanglement, a confrontation, a physical confrontation, they drag you into it and then they expect you to deal with the fallout, fuck them, ditch them, leave them right there. I mean, they probably, if it's a female, you probably, I mean, it's kind of, societally speaking, people are gonna just turn their violence towards the dude because they think they're stupid humans. I mean, the fact that there even is violence in that entire scenario just because people are hurling words at you because they feel things, it's like, it's already, we're just gonna do what we want. And we're gonna make the problems of the people that we wish to make the problems of because we feel it. And that's a perfect example. Will Smith made his problems and other people's problems.
Only for her to say, "Wife? I'm not your wife since 2016, and I never wanted to marry you." But today, Jada just keeps dumping salt on Will's wounds. She just released her memoir, Worthy, which spends a ton of time confessing a deep love and admiration for her late friend, Tupac Shakur. Jada and Tupac met in high school in the 10th grade.
Oh yeah, I heard this. Dude, if Tupac were still, here's actually a great example. Tupac were still alive, he'd be able to hurt Jada the way that Jada hurt Will Smith. Because he's just the one that she thought was the one.
But also went to college at the Baltimore School for the Arts. Jada says they immediately connected on a deep level when he said to her, "You're a beautiful woman, you're talented, you're strong, and I respect you. And you are my girl. You're gonna sit right here and I'm gonna protect you. I'm gonna make sure if nothing else you get what you need."
That I fell in love with him because he played his masculine role. Oh man. So had Tupac not died, he probably would have been whoring around, saying that same shit to all sorts of other women.
I have this much respect for women, and I was liking this girl in Tam. She told me I was too nice. I couldn't believe it.
Bitches ain't shit. We don't love them hoes, and it's like that. Even the females know it's bitches. Females don't even hang with females. You know what I'm saying? So how you call me bitch? He clowning, you know, and that's what you do.
And it would have hurt her. But I bet you Will Smith probably would have been better off, probably, right? Having gone through that pain initially. Unless, you know, he was like her lifelong rebound. It sounds like that's what this, I mean, you need, for there to be a rebound, you need something to go back to. Tupac's dead. I guess in that context of how that dynamic is, a rebound is kind of, I guess that's fair. In this case, it's a rebound marriage, right? She got entangled with, that's not the term she used for that. She got married to Will, and then not married, so she pulled away, guys. It's not her fault. She had nothing to do with the violence. Yeah. Just romance it's a joke, guys. It's his feelings, that's it.
At the time, Jada was still freshly removed from her traumatic childhood and rough neighborhood, while Tupac was still an innocent, bright-eyed kid who enjoyed studying, acting, poetry, and ballet. As time went on, their roles reversed, with Jada explaining how she was coming out of this life and he was going more into the life. By the early 90s, Tupac left the East Coast for the West Coast with aspirations of becoming a rapper. As his career was beginning to take off, so was Jada's. We were always trying to look for opportunities to work together. It was because of Pac that I got Menace to Society, and we were always looking out for each other like that. Now, Jada says her and Tupac were never romantically involved, but the way she talks about him makes people think otherwise.
We definitely had this beautiful closeness that was really intimate. 25 of our 30-day intimacy challenge, and we wanted to do a little check-in. Personally, it helped me pursue Daniel more. I just think that becoming a mom, it can be all-encompassing, and it really helped me put my relationship with Daniel back. We're on day 25 of our 30-day intimacy challenge, and we wanted to do a little check-in. Personally, it helped me pursue Daniel more. I just think that becoming a mom, it can be all-encompassing, and it really helped me put my relationship with Daniel back.
But never physically intimate. When you can sit with somebody and really feel like they see you, they understand you, they care about you.
Again, you're just feeling things. There's no way you can verify any of that. That's just shit that's going on in your brain because of the way that this person makes you feel. It has nothing to do with anything that's actually going on. You just feel things, yet you want it to be real. He understands me, we connected, we're intimate. That's just what you think. You can, again, like what I said stands true. You can do this with anyone. You could feel these things with anyone. But I guess if you're making the argument that who the type of person is that elicits those feelings from you is out of your control, right? But the point is, it's just stuff that you don't understand. It's stuff that's out of your control. It's just you reacting to a feeling. That's it. So I can't take that seriously. It doesn't deserve to be seen as legitimate. You're telling me to respect fantasy, but it is really cool. It's an awesome drug. Like, I can't make drug recommendations.
The chemicals.
You can love, just like, you gotta know what to do with it. You gotta know how to react to, you gotta know how to handle, you gotta know what to, I guess you can try to treat love as like an infinite resource that you don't try to ritualize. Don't try to make it seem like it's more special than it really is. Just love. Just, okay, I have affection towards this thing. Okay, it's something that I could just give. Now, you need to understand the extent of what that is, right? You can't just give, and then, because Will Smith, right? Other people will take, right? You have to have self-respect, you have to have integrity.
Integrity. Integrity. Gritty.
Guys, it's time to leave!
Right, and you have to find people who are worthy of that. Yeah, I guess don't, expectation-wise, try not to go in with that. Let things play out organically. Now, granted, you can't really do that. Everyone's gonna expect stuff from each other because we're gross, right? And it's never really gonna be about connection or like who you are. It's just gonna be random shit. So I can't really tell you anything that's concretely gonna give you a just good luck, that's it. Just try to be smart. Try to think about stuff. That's the best thing I could do. Before you do anything, that's the best thing that I could really, because I can't tell you whether or not it will or Willow.
With my hair. Ooh.
Not with my hair, not with my hair, not with my hair, not with my hair, yeah.
Whether it's what you should and shouldn't do, because it's like, either way you're gonna face suffering. Doesn't matter what you do or don't do.
And they're gonna be there by you no matter what. That was Tupac.
But it's also important to recognize that Jada has been talking about Tupac for years.
That was a huge loss in my life.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because he was one of those people that I expected to be here. And my upset is more anger.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was beyond friendship for us, as far as just, it's really difficult to explain because the type of relationship we had, you only get that once in a lifetime, so.
Let's say that, Benny. Dude, it's you met him at a certain time and place and you did certain things in a certain way. That's that. That's what you mean by it was a once-in-a-lifetime thing. I met this person who I saw in this specific way in this specific time of my life, and you apply stuff to it. But it's all meaningless, all of it.
And then as soon as somebody whisper who I was, it's this glare in their eye. You make yourself want that person, you know?
How do you feel about that?
I don't understand how people could stand next to you 1 year, and next year, they cannot stand there. They just going crazy screaming. But just last year, I was in the same club, walking around lonely like a motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? Couldn't get a date, couldn't get nobody to dance with me. I was too skinny, too something, and now he's just adorable.
And I'd argue that you're almost like shooting yourself in the foot for the future, because it's like, if you hold on to that, how are you gonna build anything else? You're stuck there. Get over it. You need to. These are just like fantasized, romanticized ideas about human interaction or relation. Like everyone's replaceable, everything grumbles, everything comes and goes, things don't mean the things that you want them to, things just happen. This is her telling herself that this is what it was. If you were to ask Tupac, right? You can't, but like if you did, say hypothetically, would he probably, you get something, whatever it would be. Whether it be, just a friend, I don't know. I just really see her as a little sister or something, that's it. Or, man, I did like her. She was bangable, but I didn't really want to get with her. Or, like, it could have been anything. But this is what's real to her, based on crap that's happening up here.
A lot of people try to negate her relationship with Tupac, but it was real, and even people who were close to Pac say that he felt a strong love for her as well.
Jada Pinkett. Jada's my heart, you know what I mean? She would be my friend for my whole life. She can have my one heart, my liver, my lungs,
my one friend.
It's rewind time.
Jada Pinkett. Jada's my heart, you know what I mean? She would be my friend for my whole life. She can have my one heart, my liver, my lungs, my kidneys, my blood, marrow, all of that.
She was way more sensual with the way she was describing it.
I mean, it was beyond friendship for us, you know, as far as just...
She would be my friend for my whole life.
Could it just be the way that he just says things? The way that he formulates his sentences? Didn't sound reciprocal to me. It sounded one way. Like, she's a great friend. I fucking love. That's how a guy speaks about a platonic friend. Damn. That would have been very interesting, that timeline.
But if you compare the way she talks about Will versus Pac, it starts to seem like Tupac truly captured her heart, and Will could never live up to those standards.
So then don't try. Screw them. Be your own person. Be better. Like, do your own thing based on what you feel and what you want. I mean, like, understand, get things that want things that are better than this.
What made you fall in love with him?
I would say Will came at a time in my life where he saw a beauty in me that I didn't see in myself at the time. And, you know, he saw a diamond in the rough and he kind of picked me up and blew off all the dust and said, I'm telling you, I'm going to make you shine, girl.
Well, you certainly did, looking at that rock.
Right, exactly.
Had that shit handed to you. And now here you are, speaking about it like it's fucking nothing. Like you're just,
And I was going through a really rough time. And, you know, he created a safe space for me.
Nothing about Will's personality got her to fall in love with him. It was the stability he provided. But even Will admits that he was resentful of Jada's love for Tupac.
Were you ever jealous of the love Jada had for Tupac?
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say no.
God, that dude. And you know, and that was in the early days. She just loved him like he was the image of perfection, but she was with the Fresh Prince, you know. So it was like I never could, like, even we were in a room together a couple times. I couldn't speak to him, you know, and you know he wasn't going to speak to me if I wasn't going to speak to him.
Really?
But
He also wrote in his memoir, I hated that I wasn't what he was in the world, and I suffered a raging jealousy. I wanted Jada to look at me like that.
Dude, discard that. Get rid of that. Pull that shit out and kill it, man. Do your own, like, there are so many better people out there.
Can we just be friends?
Oh, well, it's plain more fish in the sea for me.
You little dumbass bitch, I ain't fucking with you.
And this is what...
I want to celebrate Christmas with you.
Even Will's daughter was aware of how much Tupac meant to Jada. In 2012, when Willow was 11 years old, she posted a picture of the letter she had previously written to Tupac. The letter read, Dear Tupac, I know you are alive someplace. I think my mommy really misses you. Can you please come back? Can you come back so mommy and me can be happy?
Oh, God. My heart. Humans, man. Goddamn.
You didn't have to cut me off.
I wish you were here. I really do. Love, Willow. Many people consider Jada to be toxic, ungrateful, and unappreciative of Will Smith, who is perceived to be a great man.
She's toxic, unappreciative, and ungrateful. But let's see what you have to see.
Father and husband. Some people say Will is a pathetic coward who constantly lets his partner publicly embarrass him.
Yes, both of those are pretty accurate.
Will knew what he was getting into. He knew all about Tupac. He knew Jada didn't want marriage, yet he still pursued it.
Yep.
and she rode for him for more than a decade. Now today, I guess they're separated. I think. They've made it very clear that they are never going to file for divorce, but that doesn't mean that they're still together. Their newfound, confusing life partnership is, well, I don't even think they know what it is. One thing that is very apparent about these two is they use this relationship to prophesize themselves.
Money, influence, that's the only thing that fucking matters, right?
Them opening up about their marriage is somehow seen as more brave and more complicated than any of us since they are rich and famous, which to some degree is true, since millions and millions of people indulge in their marriage. But all this does is 1, make them more money, and 2, fill their egos to the brim thinking that they have some divine purpose to open up on behalf of all of the broken relationships and marriages in the world. Ironically, I think most of the people who made it all the way to this point in the video agree that they do not, under any circumstance, want the type of relationship that Jada and Will have.
They do not, but they probably had stuff that's akin to that and even probably worse, and they don't have the stuff to turn back to feel good about and make millions of dollars and have all sorts of opportunity and to be able to do anything at any time in their life. So those people are a little bit, now granted subtext, context, but like those people, even if you had this exact same scenario, the exact same people, but you put them just no influence, no money, those people would still be worthy of slightly more sympathy than these guys, right? Now, there's still fault, it's still culpable, still on them, but like, when you look at the environment, when you look at everything going on, it's like, all right, I get it. But these fucking motherfuckers, no. Hey, at the end of the day, that's always what it's about, right? This animalistic species that just does stuff. Have a good rest of your whatever it is.